Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Infamous Podcast, episode 4. We got Full Res producing. We got Infamous Alex in the back, and we got our special guest, the OG himself, Mr. Jac BeQuic. Welcome, bro.
What's going on, everybody?
What's up? What's up?
Appreciate y'all having me out here.
Yes, sir, man. Good to have you, bro. What's been going on, man? I haven't seen you in a while.
Man, I'm here trying to live, man, survive, just like everybody else.
For if you guys, if y'all don't know, Jac was one of the OG guys in YouTube that really kind of kicked it off for us here in Houston. And how long you been doing YouTube, Jac, now?
I've been doing YouTube since 2015.
2015, bro. That's a solid 8 years.
Yeah, good. 8 years strong.
I'm telling you, even before I knew anything about vlogging and stuff like that, Jac was kind of the pioneer here in town doing it. And y'all make sure y'all check out his page. We'll put a link in the description. Show that man some support. Put a subscribe. On his videos. And yeah, man, definitely check that out. That'll be cool. So let me ask you this, Jac. What are you currently doing right now? What do you got cooking right now on the page?
On the page?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't had much cooking lately.
Okay, why is that?
Nah, man, it's been a huge transition in my life and lifestyle.
Okay.
Lately, and I've kind of slowed things down a bit. I'm getting older.
Oh yeah, I know the feeling.
Family's growing with me, so I had to kind of take a step back, but it's still alive. For the most part, I drop shorts.
Yeah.
On YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
Little quick runs and stuff. But yeah, the focus has been shifting quite a bit. So
Yeah, and what do you attribute that to? You think that's just because of your age, your work schedule? I mean, what do you think that's because of?
I think seeing my family grow, man. Because when I first started YouTube, my kids were little, like babies. So I don't think the attention that they needed as much attention then as they do now, especially with how the world is now. They need that guidance now more than ever. So I try to focus more of my time with them instead of into the bikes, man, because I used to spend a lot of time in the garage. and I just want to say one more thing too, man. At the start of my whole YouTube, you guys were always there and always supportive, and I want to thank you guys up front for being a part of my journey.
Oh, for sure,
to this point.
Yeah. No, you OG, bro. You kind of put us on to the game.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
y'all put me on more than anything. So.
Yeah, y'all definitely check it out. We got some cool collabs with Mr. Jac BeQuic.
Yes, sir.
Some good stuff. So let's hop into it, Jac. What really got you interested in biking around? What led you in that path?
All right, so let me see. My story started in 2007, I want to say.
Okay.
Right.
How old were you?
Man, I have to do the numbers on that.
It's been a long
it's been a long time. So
I got you.
So I'm 40 years old now. I'm not afraid to say that.
Yeah.
So
you're looking good, bro.
I would have never guessed. I would have
40
never
years
guessed.
old. So 2007, I had to be in what?
That would be 15 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
25.
16.
Yeah, my 20s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
mid-20s.
Yeah.
So, my brother-in-law had a Gixxer 600.
Suzuki Nation, stand up.
Right, and I had just got out of service, so he came by the house to show it off. Like, I got a bike now.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let me see what this thing is about. He was like, okay, here's the clutch, here's the brake, here's the rear brake, and I'm kind of tripping up on the story right now, but he just showed me the controls real quick. And at the time, I had on like a wife beater, some basketball shorts.
Oh, so
and
you
some
just hopped on that
he's
one-on-one.
He's like, just hop on, man, go try it out. So I got on. He's like, as long as you can balance yourself, you should be good. So I got on there, went down the street, came back, nothing happened.
First time ever.
First time ever.
That's what's up.
I didn't rip the throttle or anything.
Yeah.
So I got on, turned around, and I came back. I was like, okay,
What CC was the bike?
This is for me. It was a 600.
600.
Yeah,
Okay.
07 Gixxer 600. Yeah.
That was actually my first bike too.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
It was a nice bike, man. It was
Yeah.
just, you know, at the time it felt like way more power than.
Oh, for sure. So what was kind of going through your head when you were riding that bike for the first time? You didn't shift gears or anything. You just kept it in first.
I went to second.
You went to second gear?
Yeah.
Okay.
I shifted to second. You know, of course I was nervous.
Sure.
I think when I got to the end of the road to turn the bike around, you know, I didn't know what to expect. So I kind of stumbled a little bit and I caught it, brought it back up. Well, I didn't drop it.
Yeah.
You know, I tried to turn, stumbled a little bit, kept it up, and rolled back, and then I got off of it. I was like, okay, I need to learn how to do this for real because this was fun. So, yeah.
So when you rode that bike, how long was it before you purchased a bike after you rode it?
I want to say another 2 years after that.
So 2007, the first time you
07,
rode,
yeah.
And you never rode again.
Never rode
until
again.
2009.
2009.
Okay, and what was your first bike in 2009?
2009, my first bike was a Kawasaki ZZR.
A ZZR. Oh, this is it right here, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, Big Bertha over here.
OG.
I'm telling you.
It was thick, man. It was thick.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. Where'd you get that? You know, who was it from a dealership or was it from an individual or?
No, that bike was from an individual that I served with in the military.
Oh, okay. Thank you for your service, first of all.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
He was trying to get rid of it, and I think I paid about $2,000 for that bike.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was a 05 ZZR. Again, I didn't know what the heck was going on. I bought me a little cheap slip-on from eBay.
Yeah.
Custom.
Custom. And so, yeah, and I think, well, at the time, my wife was pregnant with my son.
Oh, wow.
Right? I didn't have a job.
You had a bike, though.
No. That
all
was
that matters
before I
sometimes.
even got the bike.
Oh, wow.
Right? I didn't have a job. I was living with my parents at the time, and she was pregnant with my son. And I knew this was my moment because I let too much time lapse between 07 to 09.
Yeah.
I knew this was my moment. If I didn't get a bike at that moment, I probably would never be riding, right? And so the little money I had, I was like, okay, I'm going to get this bike. And I bought a bike. And here my wife is 5 months pregnant with a child.
Wild.
So, of course, y'all know how that conversation
Oh, yeah.
went, right?
Yeah.
So she was not happy about it, but I think that kind of changed everything for me with the whole bike scene, and I fell in love with it. Unfortunately, that bike did not last long.
Okay, what happened?
I probably should have sent you the pictures for that too.
Damn.
But I let one of my buddies ride it.
Oh, no.
And that was his first time riding it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, it worked for me.
Yeah.
Somebody gave me the quick tips. Maybe it'll work for him too. It didn't turn out that way. So he wrecked it same day, within minutes of getting on it. Went around he tried to make a left turn, hit a curb.
Oh.
Bike went in the air. He went in the air. Bike exploded on the spot.
Oh,
Like flames, everything. So I got the pictures at home, so I'll probably find them and
yeah.
send them to you.
Let me ask you, Jack. So how long did you own the bike before you let your buddy ride it?
About 5 months.
Okay, so let's backtrack. Let's unbox this real quick. So in those 5 months, you had only ridden your Gixxer. You had only ridden your brother's Gixxer there for one time.
Yeah.
So
one time.
How did you learn? Did you take a course? Did you kind of watch videos? How was that process?
No, I think it still stuck with me from that initial ride of what the controls were. And, I would get on the bike every now and then and go out, go down the road and turn around and come back home. And every time I got out, I took it a little bit further. So eventually I got up on the highway, started getting comfortable.
Yeah.
I didn't have a license. I just kind of did my thing and it worked out well.
Okay. So basically no formal training, no endorsement, no
None
nothing, just
whatsoever.
kind of taught yourself.
Yeah.
So okay, so we'll fast forward 5 months here, and then you let your buddy ride it, and obviously that didn't turn out too well. So how long? What was next after that, and how long did that take before you did something? Hang on. First of all, I'd like to know, what did your buddy do? Did he pay you, or was it?
Oh
just
no,
kinda...
hold on. Is your buddy all right? I mean, you said it went up in the air.
I was saying, did he pay you though?
No, he's good. He was
Yeah,
good. He was
yeah.
good. He wasn't hurt or anything. That was my first concern too. When
Yeah,
he went down
for sure.
You know, because I ran over there and I saw that, you know, the bike was in flames, like big flames too.
Oh my god!
Right. So he hit a power line when he hit the curb.
Wait, so when he went in the air, he hit a power line?
The bike hit a power line, and that's when it ignited. In you know,
So
it
I'm
was
guessing.
like
I'm guessing he
instant.
had a helmet.
No.
Nah.
He wasn't going that fast. He wasn't going that fast. It was, you know,
I mean,
he
fast
wasn't
enough
hurt.
to launch it in the air
Yeah.
and hit a power line. But
So I think what he did, he probably, you know, gave it too much trying to
Whiskey
come out of
throttle.
the turn, and you know, he couldn't straighten it back up, you know, to go down the road. So it just went straight to the curb, hit the curb, went in the air, and I'm sitting here like the next block over watching all of this happen, because he went down his street, looped around, came back up. I'm just looking, okay, he coming. Next thing I hear, yeah, pow.
oh
Bike in
man,
the air, he in the air, and I run over there to make sure he's good. And about halfway through, the bike ignites into flame. So,
wow.
Yeah.
And this is 2009
Yeah.
ish,
2009-ish. yeah.
right? So okay, so the bike blows up. How did y'all square up? Did he pay you for the bike? Did he just kind of say my bad? Like what happened?
Initially, it was just man, my bad. He
Yeah.
was remorseful. Like he
Sure.
felt bad about it. And
Yeah.
and of course, I'm not going to
Yeah.
attack the dude
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that moment after having such a dramatic incident happen. So I told him, it's okay, man. We'll figure it out. We'll talk about it. Some time passed, and we kind of worked something out
Settled
to where
up.
he was able to pay me back.
Excellent.
For the bike. Yeah.
Excellent. So, I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad everything worked out. So what was next? This is 2009, 2010 time. What came next after the ZZR?
After the ZZR, I purchased a Gixxer 600. It was a 06 600, a white. Yep.
Oh man.
That is my baby right there. At the time.
JD's loving it.
Bro, I actually owned a bike with that same fairing scheme.
Yeah.
I love Suzuki's. I feel like 2006, 2007, 2008 were probably the best years Suzuki made bikes. With those engines were freaking bulletproof,
Yeah.
man. They were amazing. Okay, so let's talk about this. What year was this?
This was early 2010.
Okay, so only a few months passed then.
A few months passed, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you still had that itch. You were still
still
like,
had the
man,
itch.
I got to get a
I
bike.
gotta go get your bike, and I found this one at a Harley Davidson dealership.
Okay,
I guess somebody traded in, and
yeah.
I was like, okay, this is the one. So I went and got it. The deal went smooth, super easy. And around that same time, that's when I decided to first move to Houston.
Okay.
Right. Made my first move to Houston, and where the bike is sitting right now, it's in an apartment complex.
Yes.
And it had like a carport.
Yeah, covered parking. See the
Right.
fence in the back.
Right. So what I used to do whenever I'm out of town, I would put a chain on it to that pole.
Yeah.
And I think I've done that one too many times, and I probably had other people that had eyes on it just as much as I did. And I
Yeah.
came home one day, and bike was gone.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, an apartment, especially here in the city, they gonna get you.
Yeah.
They gonna chop that and load it up and take
Yeah.
it. So how long did you own that bike before that happened?
It had to be about 5 or 6 months.
That's it.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
you,
it.
You had like a double whammy back to back. One
Yeah.
got destroyed, and the other one got
Yeah.
stolen.
Yeah, and I was crushed, man. I was hurt. And
That's a kick in the gut.
he was about 3 months old at the time.
Oh,
You know,
wow,
my
infant.
son. Yeah, he was about 3 months old at the time when that happened, and I was so hurt. My wife saw that pain in me, and it took me another I want to say another 2 months before I found something else
Okay, let's go back a little bit. How much were you riding when you moved to Houston?
Oh, not much, man. Like it was probably around the same as what I was doing before. I would
You
hop
would say
on it.
once a week, maybe twice a week.
Not even that often. I don't even think it was too often. I just, whenever I used to get out though, I would go to work.
Yeah.
Probably every now and then, twice a week, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. Twice. Once. I'll say once every 2 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was a good distance in between each ride.
Like
Yeah.
twice a month. Type of thing.
Twice a month. Yeah.
And about how many miles do you think you were putting on when you were riding?
Not many. Maybe 30 miles.
Oh, okay.
30 miles. I wasn't going far.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. And then you get home. I'm assuming it might be from work, or where were you that day?
So I'm my home is Florida, right? So I took
Okay.
a trip to Florida, and I've never experienced anybody stealing anything from me before. So
Yeah.
I figured the rest of the world is just as nice as Florida was, and that wasn't the case. So. I took a trip down to Florida for a couple of days, and I came back. The bike was
Gone.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, that's a pretty crappy feeling.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you get back, the bike's gone. What was the third bike, and how much time lapsed between that?
So I would say about a month in between.
Oh, quick.
Yeah.
You weren't playing no games.
At that point, I was like, okay. I was like, you know what? Something got to give, man.
Yeah.
Because, it was about a month until I had a neighbor who had a 05 Gixxer 1000.
Okay.
At that point, I was like, okay, it's time for me to step it up. I got to secure my bikes better. I felt like I knew the ropes at this point, so I need to make something happen, go something bigger. So he had a 05 Gixxer 1000 that was a little beat up. That's sit there, and I was like, okay, I'll get that from you, clean it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And this was the first bike that I really connected with, man. Like I loved that bike.
Yeah.
From everything about it, I loved it. The ergonomics, the comfort, everything. And I put a lot of elbow grease into it, a lot of effort to make it look pretty.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have a smile on my face because all these Suzukis you're showing, I've owned them too.
Yeah.
And, I'm a Suzuki guy at heart,
Nice,
and
nice.
especially that era. You know what I mean? 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, I think was just the prime years
Right.
For Suzuki, and they were putting out such a good product. So let's talk about that bike. So when you rode that bike and you bought it, you cleaned out, what was the biggest differences you felt from coming off your 600 to, now you're going on a leader bike?
Yeah.
So, how was that?
Of course, the power delivery was just crazy. I was in shock, man.
Yeah.
Like there's no way this thing is this powerful, and I thought it was the strongest thing in the world. But yeah, it was amazing, man. The power delivery was great. It felt easier to go into the curves and the turns.
Yes.
But it was just a smooth ride, and the power was just there. I loved it.
So when you bought this bike, how much were you riding at that point?
Oh, at that point, man, the game changed for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was riding every chance I could get.
You fell in love.
Yeah, I was all in with the 1000.
So how long did you own that bike for?
Owned that bike from 2010 until 2014.
4 years.
Yeah.
And when you bought the bike, roughly how many miles did it have on it?
I want to say about 7,000 to 8,000 miles.
And then when you sold the bike, how many miles did it have on it?
I want to say it was close to 8,000 miles. I mean 16,000 miles.
Oh man,
Yeah.
so you were riding.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah,
rolling. I was rolling.
you were putting some miles on that. So we talked about, back then you didn't have your license or anything. Did anything change? Did you get your endorsement at that time, or were you just still thugging it?
I was still thugging it. Yeah, I was still in the
Gotcha.
streets, man, acting a fool.
Yeah.
And when I got that bike, that's when I eventually went and got my endorsement. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my endorsement here in Texas, I believe. I forgot what year, but yeah.
But it was during the time you had that bike.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had that bike. Yeah.
But sometime between that 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's fast forward to 2014. What happened with that bike?
All right. So with that bike, I was on the market to purchase my first home, and I needed funds in my account. So
Yep.
I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get rid of this bike then, so I could beef up my account a little bit and make sure I secure this home for my family.
Yes.
I had my second child. My daughter was probably, 3 years old.
So at this point, you have a son and a daughter.
A son and a daughter.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I can't continue to be like this, be a hooligan in the streets. And I want to add, man, that bike, man, my riding style was completely different from what it is now.
Yeah.
Like I was all in the corners. Every dip I could find, I was taking it with that bike because it was so smooth and so effortless to do it on that bike. And then I think towards the last year of owning that bike, I decided to lower it just a little bit. I dropped it about an inch just to get a little bit more of the throttle, right?
Okay.
And I was still able to hit some corners and some dips pretty smooth. And the reason I'm telling you this part is to segue into the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be a vital piece.
Okay. And I mean, what you said you lowered it so you can kind of get better hits. I mean, what you said you were in corners, but you're kind of foreshadowing what you start going into.
Mm-hmm.
So what was next after the Gixxer?
After the Gixxer was a 2013 BMW S1000.
Okay,
Yeah.
2013.
It's
S1000.
red.
And how long was this from when you sold the Gixxer until you bought the BMW?
I want to say just a few months because I had already
Again.
just
Well,
a few
you
months.
can't go more than a few months, huh?
Yeah, because I already secured the home.
Good.
I knew that after
yeah.
I got the house, that I'm gonna give me another bike. So I went. I went with the Beamer, and initially, I wanted to go with the ZX10. I think the Gen 4 had just came out that year, 2015. 15.
Yes.
Right. So it was right around 2015 when I purchased that 2013 Beamer. And what made me decide to go with the Beamer, I'm doing my search for ZX10. At the time, I didn't even know BMW made sport bikes, right? So I'm doing my search for ZX10s, and I'm seeing all these videos, BMW versus ZX10.
Yeah.
And the ZX10s would just get smashed. I'm like, what the heck is going on? This thing's supposed to be a monster, right? So finally, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go with a Beamer. I'm gonna go with a Beamer. No, that's not that one. It's the
That's a 2017,
that's a 17.
right? Yeah, it looks like a 17.
This one is that's 17.
Yeah, that looks like a 17.
So no, not that one either.
That's
it's
a 15, isn't
that's
it?
a 15.
15, yeah.
It's red, the one with the injuries. I didn't send you that one.
That's all I was saying.
Yeah, you didn't send me that one.
Those two are the only ones. Yeah.
Oh man, y'all gotta see this one, man. This is a good one.
That's the OG.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Yeah, right? That's a 2013. Yeah.
Let's take a look at this. See what it's looking like. Yeah. So you were watching the videos, you were doing the searches, you saw BMW. So let's talk about the biggest differences you saw from the Gixxer, which you love dearly, which kind of changed the game for you. So smooth, so nice, and then when you jumped on a 2013.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, man, that bike was just like upper echelon to me, man. 'Cause the technology behind it.
Yeah.
The power behind it, and I tried so hard to compare it to the Gixxer, and it just does it. Like it's on a different level, altogether. And it was a little bit heavier though. It was a heavier bike, but man, it was amazing. Definitely amazing.
Yeah, around that time, this is 2015, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know in 2015 I actually bought.
I'm sorry. This year was 2014.
This is 2014.
Yeah.
14.
So
I owned a 2014 HB4, And man, I remember the first time I got on that bike, and I can totally relate to what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's just different, man.
Yeah.
All around, the BMW just does everything well. Now, when you purchased it, was it stock? Did you do any mods? Did you change it up any?
That I purchased it the way you see it in the picture there.
Okay.
Bone stock. That year was a 2013, but
Yes.
I purchased it in 14.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So just the way it is. And then I eventually started to mod it a little bit.
Okay. What was your first mod?
To be honest, I don't remember. I don't
Okay.
remember what the first one
Exhaust,
was.
most likely, or something.
Yeah, I think in the next picture that we might have. Actually, no, I don't think I got to the exhaust just yet. I was probably doing little cosmetic things
Gotcha.
here and there just to change the look up a little bit.
So you were saying with your Gixxer, you were kind of finding every turner, every corner you can get, every turn you can get into. What were you doing with that bike?
So with this bike, at this point, I had like a crew of guys that I used to roll with, right? So we all had like different bikes that we used to ride, and of course, we get on the freeway. You want to open it up a little bit,
Sure.
So we'll start doing
Yeah.
that, the side by side thing, and see how who gets out first, and that bike just kind of started that whole genre for me.
Now, did you lower that bike any? I know you lowered the Gixxer a little bit.
I did.
Okay.
So remember the first piece of the story that I told you?
Yes.
That segue, right?
Yes.
So that was the mistake that I made.
Okay.
Right? I tried to tailor this bike similar to how I ran the Gixxer, and it was just a completely different animal. And I didn't know that.
Yeah.
This is my first Beamer.
Elaborate on that. What do you mean?
Yeah. So I did lower it. So the Gixxer was lowered,
Okay.
and I could still hit corners like it's nothing.
Sure.
I didn't know anything. I didn't know much about the whole, power band and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was just hitting corners. I never had any issues with the corners. And then when I purchased this Beamer, stock height, stock wheelbase, same way, hitting corners, feeling good about myself, nothing changed. And I was like, maybe I could lower it a little bit just to get a little bit more power out of it
Okay.
and still run it like the Gixxer.
Yeah.
And that didn't play out that way.
So when you lower, do you lower the front and the back, or because that's the thing that I feel like some of the guys, they just kind of realize like, hey, let me put a lowering link, but never do the front or something, or vice versa. Did you lower both of them, or?
I did, yes.
Okay.
The front and rear, and I think that was the biggest game changer because I probably could have lowered the front maybe half an inch, right, and not be affected and still be able to hit my corners, get a little bit more power. But the rear is what changes
Yeah, the
things
dynamics.
dramatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how long did you own that bike? This is 2014. How long did you own that bike before you went to another bike?
I'm laughing because the story to me is funny now.
Yeah.
But that bike was also short-lived.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So again, I did the same thing. I'm thinking of the Gixxer still in my mind,
Okay.
but I'm trying to play that on the Beamer.
Okay.
So I tried to set up the Beamer the same way I had the Gixxer. Well, took it out one evening, right? Went out with the fellas. We went and hit some back roads, and it didn't turn out well for me that day.
It wasn't a good day.
Yeah, it wasn't a good day, man. I went down.
Oh.
I broke my wrist.
Oh, no.
Man.
Got some nasty
rash.
road work there, some road tattoos.
And this was the first time you had ever been down?
Yeah, very first time I've ever gone down. First time I've,
Helmet, jacket. I mean, how were you looking?
So I would always wear a helmet and jacket, but on this day, I was like, I'm going to just throw on a helmet and we're not doing anything crazy. I'm going to just go out, and rip it a little bit and come home. And, it didn't turn out that way.
Instantly regretted it.
Yeah, instantly, man.
Okay, so this is 2014, and when this happened,
This is late 2014.
okay, late 2014, how was the phone call to your wife? That's what I'm thinking.
Well, there wasn't a phone call initially.
Okay.
What happened? We went through some back roads, hitting some twisties, and
was the bike still rideable? Like, were you able to ride? No.
No, it was destroyed.
Okay.
I think that's probably the best angle I can get.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was destroyed, man. I was dipping low in the turn, and I cleared the turn, but I think at the end of when you get to the point of raising the bike back up,
Yes.
the foot peg hit the
ground.
The ground.
You scraped the ground.
Just enough to push the tire to the white line, right on the edge of the road.
Right.
So as soon as it hit that, slid
was it.
out,
Yeah.
Lost it.
bike flipped. I slid maybe a good 50 feet maybe.
Yeah.
Because I was sliding forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always feels like that, you know.
To me, that's what it felt like. I was sliding forever. So, and I think when I was making a left turn, so the bike slid out from under me, and then it flipped me over, and that's when I smacked my wrist on the ground, and I broke my wrist, broke my right ankle, and then of course the road rash you see in the
Oh
picture.
shit! So you went to the hospital from there?
No, I didn't.
You
No.
thug life, huh? Good boy.
I'm good. I'm gonna walk it off. I'm gonna walk it
boy said
off.
rub some dirt on it, bro.
Pull
I'll be all right.
that picture back up,
Yeah.
man. Real quick.
Yeah,
so-
Rez, let's get that picture up. That's crazy, bro.
Oh, I don't have it up, but I did have a picture of me sitting on the concrete, like on the side of the road, and
Asking for a ride or
no, I felt fine, man. Like I
That's
didn't
that
feel,
adrenaline
yeah,
pump
that
up,
adrenaline
right?
was still in me. I
Yeah.
felt fine. We looked for the bike. We found it up against a fence somewhere.
oh wow.
And I was walking fine. My hand was fine. And then after some time passed, this guy, just don't even know him. He pulls up in the truck. He's like, "Hey, you guys okay?" He's like, "Yeah, we're good." He's like, "Where you need to go?" Now, I'm like an hour away from my house.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And my wife she's out with her cousins, right? And even up to that point, she still don't know what happened, right? So it was probably a good hour past since I went down, and I'm still feeling fine.
Okay.
Right? So we picked the bike up, no ramps, just put it on the back of the truck, and I'm still moving around like everything is good.
Right.
And then when I finally sit down inside the truck and kind of relax a little bit, that's when I started feeling the pain. I'm like, okay, something's not right, because
Yeah.
I was just moving my hand just fine. Now I can't move it anymore. I'm like,
He raised it up like, oh,
yeah, it was
oh.
stuck like this. And I was like, what's going on? And so the guy was kind enough to drive me to where my wife was, which was at her cousin's house. We brought the bike down, and she looked at my hand. She's like, okay, we need to take you to the hospital. So we get to the hospital, found out my wrist was broken, ankle was broken, of course the road rash you see. Yeah.
But the ankle you didn't feel either?
I didn't
when
feel anything.
So how did they check your ankle? How did they know it was broken?
Well, when I think when we got to the hospital, they saw some of the damage on the shoe and all that. Took the shoe off, checked everything, and yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, that's insanity, bro. How long were you at the hospital for?
Just for the day, maybe a few hours. Right?
Did they cast you up or?
Yeah, I had a cast. I had like a red cast at first, and I like to draw too.
Yeah.
To match the bike, you know?
Yeah, I had a red cast. So I drew all over it, and I think I had like a Hellboy. I did a Hellboy picture, put on there and all that. Yeah, it was fun.
So let me ask you this: because I know how my wife is, because she knows the way we ride. So how was that conversation after you got out the hospital when it's just you and her, and obviously it could have been way worse, right?
Yeah,
Couple
yeah,
broken bones. It sucks, but it's not the end all be all.
Yeah.
Well, how was that conversation between y'all?
Fortunately for me, my wife is an understanding person.
Yeah.
She knows that we have insurance for stuff like this,
Sure.
and it's not something that's inevitable.
Yeah.
Am I saying that word right?
Yeah.
Inevitable.
Inevitable.
Yeah,
Thanos, you know.
yeah. So she understands, man, and she didn't trip about it. She's like, okay, well, let's get you to the hospital. Let's get you fixed up, and and that's what we did. Yeah.
That's great to hear. I really like that support. That it was no nagging or no I told you and this and that.
Yeah.
And it's always great to have the support of your loved ones. So okay, you wrecked that bike. How long was it before you healed up?
It was probably a good 8 months.
Oh,
6 to 8 months.
Shit.
Yeah, broken wrist, right?
Yeah. The actual cast came off in a couple. I think I want to say 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
But to actually be fully,
Oh wait, this is your right wrist.
Was it right? Let me see. It
No,
clicks.
left.
No, it was my right wrist.
Oh,
Oh, that's
right
a
wrist.
throttle
That's
hand.
throttle
right
hand,
there.
bro.
Yeah.
Right wrist was
Oh.
broken because
And
I'm left-handed.
So
So
like click, yeah.
Yeah.
This one.
And then what ankle you said?
it's actually the opposite ankle. So it was actually my
Left.
left ankle.
Throttle
Oh.
and shift.
And shifter.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. The two that you don't want.
So during this time, Jack, during this 8 months where you're healing up, what was your thought process like? Man, I'm gonna chill. I don't want a bike. Like I'm good. Or man, I can't wait to get back on a bike. Like I know what I did wrong. I just gotta fix it. How were you feeling? Take us through that.
It was I can't wait to get back out there. It's funny you asked this because my brother-in-law had I think he had like a Honda CBR or something.
Shout out to
like a
Honda.
Honda
05,
gang
right?
gang.
So, yeah, I was so pumped and ready to get back on. As soon as they took the hard cast off and put a soft cast on, I got on his bike, right? And I tried to ride it, and I dropped it.
Oh shit!
I didn't go
Power
far.
lines or no power lines?
No
Oh,
power lines.
okay.
Oh no!
And I dropped it. He was like, "Man, I told you not to get on that thing, man." I was like, "Man, I got to ride, man."
Well, just so you guys know, it's a Honda, so watch
Oh,
out for that
it was
power.
good. It was good though.
Isn't that how you park Hondas? You just throw them on the ground, right?
No, that's just
That's
yours.
He does that. You seen him,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I know.
He's like,
Yeah.
kicks like.
No, that's just
What's
yours.
up,
Nah,
guys?
it's
I'm here.
Jix's, man. From what I see, I only see
There you go. So he knows. He knows.
Okay, so you healed up. You're feeling better. You dropped your brother-in-law's bike. Hey, so once you healed up from the day you dropped his bike, how long was it until you went to another bike?
Again, it was not.
Wasn't long.
It wasn't long at all.
So that bug bit you, man. You had to have a bike
So,
at all times.
Yeah, it did. It did. And here's the conversation I had with myself after that accident. I was like, man, I've been riding like a hooligan for years. Like nothing ever came close to this. How is this bike, defeating me like this?
Yeah.
And that started my whole passion with BMW. I was like, I'm never riding anything else until I master a BMW in every element that I could. And yeah, that kickstarted the whole BMW thing.
So what came next? You were on a 2014.
14.
What was after that?
After that, the 2015 came out,
So that was a new gen.
new gen.
Right.
And I want to say I was probably the second or third to own it.
Okay.
And, you want to guess who the first was?
Who was that?
It was you. It was you. Yeah, in Houston, and I actually went out to Mancuso,
Yeah.
right? And he was like, "Yeah, this guy just got it." And I'm like, "Hey, who's this guy right here?" So it wasn't until years later after I met you then I knew, the name that they mentioned. But I ended up getting mine at it was an old BMW shop, Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like on 45
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah, 45 on the other side of town.
Yeah. South side.
Yeah. So they I mean, they're not around anymore, but I went over there and I picked that joker up. I was like, okay.
And what year was this, Jack?
This was 2015.
2015. So this was basically as soon as you felt better, you got the cast off and you got the soft cast off. You were,
Yep.
I'm going to BMW.
Yep. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be defeated by this bike.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
and then the new gen came out
Yeah,
with
new
all
gen.
the goodies and all
Yes.
of that. I was like, okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna get this bike.
Okay. So you get that bike. What differences did you see from the 13 to the 15?
Well, other than the auto blip,
Yeah.
right, and cruise control.
And that was a huge deal back then.
Yeah.
You got to think, we're talking 8 years ago. Like, most bikes didn't have auto blip.
Nope, they didn't even have quick shifters.
They didn't have quick shifters.
yeah.
Yeah, and BMW was ahead of the game with all of that, and that was the biggest difference I saw. Now, I didn't get to experience the 13, as much as I wanted to
Right.
really say, okay, there's a huge difference in power, but I didn't notice a huge difference in power. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was it was some cosmetic differences too.
Yeah.
I think the heads were something internal was a little bit different between the 14 and the 15.
Yeah.
Because I remember the HB4 had it, and then they became standard on the 15s.
Right.
Where they had it too. So okay, that 2015 bike, what color was it?
Red.
It was another red.
Red.
So what's your obsession with red here? I'm seeing two BMWs, two red.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you where the red came from. I think it's an easy color to to match up with anything. Yeah, I really don't know where the red came from.
Let me find out you Pyruin, bro.
No.
Golly.
No. No, I'm good.
So take me through when you got that bike and you rode for the first time since your accident. What was going through your head?
Man, it was that same love I felt when I first got that Beamer in the Jigsaw. Like I was like, man, this is amazing. How can I leave this alone? Like this is life right here. You get the open road. I had the power. I felt like, I had plenty power to, own the world at that point. And with that bike, I think around that same time, me and my guys, we all decided to get BMWs. So it was about 7 of us that had all BMWs.
All BMWs.
All BMWs. And that triggered a whole movement for us too. And I like naming my bikes. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm also a big comic guy, fan. And I named the bike Deadpool at the time.
So this is here we go.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
this
Even with the helmet.
Yeah, this is the original Deadpool.
The
bike.
original Deadpool, yeah.
And this
Before
is,
before the movie came out, by the way.
Yeah.
Nobody was really, talking
really?
about. Yeah, that's
All
long
right.
before the movie.
Damn.
It was Deadpool because the movie came out 16, 17?
Yeah.
and this is 2015. We're
This is
talking
2015 we're talking about.
So was this bike? I didn't ask. Was this bike brand new when you bought it?
Yes.
It was brand new.
Brand
0
new,
miles.
0 miles.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I got to do something funky with this to make it, stand out among the rest. And
If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the bike that started the whole YouTube thing too, right? This kind of
Yes.
way. Okay.
yep, it is. Yep.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So what made you? I mean, if I'm seeing right, I think it's obviously lowered or it's strapped down, one of the two.
Okay.
What were you doing at this point? I think you have a Brox on there. So obviously you said you bought the bike stock. So now you're making mods.
Right,
So now you're
right.
trying to go quicker with this crew. So
Right.
let's talk about that a little bit.
So with this setup, I think at that point I was kind of over the twisties, right? I was like, okay, this is something different here because the way that other BMW took me down, it is like a lot of power in there, and obviously it's not something that I want to feel in the twisties because I already felt that felt that pain.
But you were getting it too, man. For you to scrape peg, that means you're getting low, bro.
Yeah.
You're getting it.
Yeah.
So you said screw that, and now we're kind of setting up for straight line.
Yeah, well, not necessarily. I was still, just enjoying the bike for what it is, right? And, just enjoying riding with my guys. And we used to just go out and, do our little straight line thing
Yeah.
and just have fun, go home, go out, go eat, whatever, right? And I think one day one of the guys was like, man, you always whooping up on us. Why don't you go try some of the other guys in the city?
Yeah.
So that was never on my mind to even do, like go race anybody. I had no intentions of doing that. And I happened to run one of the fastest ZX14s at the time on nitrous. Now, if you might know who I'm talking about.
That's your homeboy. Yeah. That's Alex's son right there.
So, and the way.
So how did that go?
Yeah, that actually surprised a lot of people because again, it was on nitrous. It was smacking everybody in the city, and I think he was only half a bike away from me throughout the whole video. And I was stock wheelbase, I was low a little bit, and with the slip on, I don't even think I was flash because I didn't know about flashing and all that at the time. So it was just that, right? And I was right there with him. So I think that kind of pioneered the whole YouTube thing because people wanted to see more.
More.
But
Yeah.
I was also you know, a very reserved person too. So that's also why I did the helmet the way I did it, so people wouldn't see my face.
Right.
Right. So if I would go out to an event, I would never take my helmet off. Keep it on, go do my runs, go home, drop the videos, let everybody go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember when the videos came out, and it was. I actually watched a video from 2017. I think it was today or yesterday, just kind of taking me back. Man, it was a fun time here in town. You know, because we were really getting the city riled up. Everybody was coming out, you know, for this stuff. So with that bike, what were your next mods? Did you ever fully set up that bike?
I did, yes.
Okay.
I did. So
what happened after you raced the 14? We're getting a little bit of excitement. What happened next?
Again, there was a lot of talk. Everybody wanted to know who this Deadpool BMW was, right? So
I remember those days.
And I want to say, man, up until the movie came out, or the movie became a thing. And, you know, I hope that doesn't affect anything. No copyright anything.
Damn.
But
About to get losses, bro.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Deadpool, so don't sue us.
Yeah,
I'm
shout
just
out
a
to
fan,
Deadpool.
and you know, I'm not trying to take anything or any credit for anything, but up
But I
until
did
the
it first.
That's his words, not mine. So, but yeah, up until that point, man, like everybody was curious, like what's going on. So what we did with all of my guys, we named our bikes Marvel characters, right? And we would go out, have fun, and you know, smack people around, make videos, funny videos, drop it, and then leave, right? So that became a whole thing to where everybody would call us Toon Squad.
Yes.
So that's where that came from. So and then we named. We was all right. We're gonna go with it.
Yeah, that's
Toon
right.
Squad. They thinking they're gonna clown us, and you know, I was like, all right, we'll rock with Toon Squad, and we rock with that for some time, and then you know, again, everybody grow, right? You mature. A lot of guys left the bikes alone, left the bike scene alone, but me, I was one of the younger guys, and I was still all in it.
Yeah.
And from challenging people in the city, now I'm at the point where I want to represent the city, right?
You were whooping up on pretty much everybody here in town.
Yeah, I ran.
He's being modest.
I ran a lot of bikes.
Jack had back then. He probably had the fastest BMW in Houston.
I ran a lot of people.
Yeah,
man.
hands down.
And I didn't care. I was nitrous. All right, well, let's go.
Yeah.
Whatever motor work, let's go. I was with it.
But I feel like Jack did his diligence. Like I feel like every time he was kind of making his bike faster, doing whatever he can to get an advantage, to get it to that point. You know, that's from what I saw. You know.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. But yeah, I try not to rush the mods, right? Because if you'll see the transitions in the pictures, you know, from that stock wheelbase, cast wheels, and you know, just lowered, I see how many people I can, you know, take down. And when the next level come up, then I make the next mod and adjust for that.
And I remember when you know you were whooping up, smacking down everybody here in town. Things didn't really pop off until I don't know if y'all went to Dallas or Dallas came here, and you know you guys really start putting it on them. That's when stuff was really fun. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so around that time, you know, Dallas had some big names.
Oh yeah,
back then.
And this is 2016-ish or 2015?
Yeah, 2016.
Okay.
Texas 2K was a thing.
Yes.
It was a big thing for the bike scene.
Huge
It was already something for the cars.
Right.
That's when it, you know, in my opinion, felt like it kicked off for the bike scene.
Yeah, that's when 2K was really 2K out on the streets.
Yeah, yeah. And, there's a lot of big names. I don't know if I can drop names. Yeah.
Drop them.
So you had Asshole by Nature and you know Ness and Beamer Boy out in Dallas, Amarillo area.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of big names on that side.
Fast guys.
Too.
Very fast guys.
And
shout out to them.
You know, it became a rivalry between cities, and you know, I guess I felt like I'd done my part here in the city. Now let me represent the city a little more. So
There you go.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna go after these guys. The first time I went, I don't think I had enough. Actually, I know I didn't have
You
enough.
you went to Dallas. They
I
didn't
went to
come here.
Dallas. Yeah.
Okay.
I made 2 trips to Dallas before they came down
Got
here.
it. So yeah, let's talk about the first trip.
First trip, I went the way the bike looks right now, thinking it was enough, and it wasn't. Like those guys were advanced with the carbon wheels and I mean, I didn't know this stuff. I didn't know, weight played a huge part in how the bike performed. I'm thinking, okay, I had enough to whoop everybody here in the city. Let me, take it to them. So they were running nitrous and, all that good stuff. And I go out there and I did fair. It wasn't anything to brag about.
Sure.
But I also think that helped me understand the game too. It helped me prepare for the next one. So I went back home. I was all right. I see what y'all doing. So let me start ordering some stuff real quick.
So what all did you start changing up after your first time in Dallas?
After that first time, ordered the cast wheels. Went with the Flash. Brentoon Flash, by the way.
Shout out to Brent.
Shout out to Brentoon for sure. Those been my guys, man. Since I first made contact with them, they've been great. I still support them till this day.
1,000%.
I went with the Brentoon and Flash. Again, they wasn't even that big on the scene at the time.
They were doing cars, right?
Yeah, they were doing cars for the most part.
Yeah.
And it was probably a handful of guys that was doing Brentuning. And there was a few guys, in other areas that was flashing the BMWs too. But I don't know why. Like me, I'm more of a committed person, right? So if I'm rocking with you from day one, then that's what it's gonna be, right? We agree on things, we disagree. I'm still rocking with you, right? You mess something up, let's fix it, keep it moving. We gonna succeed together later on. So I've never even considered anybody else for tuning. I was like, okay, these are gonna be my guys. If they get it right, they get it right. They get it wrong, they get it wrong.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But fortunately for me, they've gotten it right every time. So.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I was rocking with them, and I started ordering all kind of stuff, man, like the carbon wheels and lightweight batteries and taking weight off the bike, and then I went back. And when I went back, it was a different ball game.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. You put the carbon wheels on, you put the Flash on. What exhaust were you rocking? Did you go full? Were you still doing slip on? What were you doing?
I went with the full. It was a full Brox, the full Brox
Brox
exhaust that you see, the stainless steel.
Stainless steel. Okay, so we're rocking that. We got the Flash, air filter.
Air filter. Let me see, and little cosmetic mirrors off. And,
basically full bolt-ons.
Yeah, full bolt-ons. I still had all the brakes on there and 520 conversion.
Okay.
Lightweight battery. I think that was enough to change the game for me a lot.
Okay, so let's talk about the second time. I know you mentioned Ness. Ness at one point had the fastest BMW in Texas.
Yeah.
He was a heavyweight when it came to BMWs. In that scene. So did you get any runs in with him?
Yeah. Every time I went, actually the first time I went, he whooped up on me bad. I couldn't get a W whatsoever.
No way.
The second time, and at that point, I knew that's the man I need to
100%.
go after.
Yeah.
Because I was hanging good with everybody else, right? But he was just dominating, right?
Yeah.
So, and I couldn't understand. He was stock wheelbase, lowered, and But I didn't know about the carbon wheels and all these little weight reduction things that you could do, the lightweight subframe and all of that. So, after that first trip, I went to work. I went and did my homework, man. I went back a few months later, and me and him was trading blows. He win one, I win one, and that's pretty much how I stayed. Everybody else, I was dominating pretty much that whole trip. Yeah.
So you definitely call that trip a success.
Oh
versus,
yeah.
Oh yeah, he went a long way, bro.
Sure.
Huge difference.
Was that the setup for the second time you went?
What was that?
Was that the bike, the setup?
No, not this setup. There should be one with a swing arm on it.
Oh, the one that's in the driveway.
So you put a swing arm, Jack, the second time you went? You were rocking an arm? You were still
it was still stock wheelbase.
Okay, still stock wheelbase.
But it had carbon wheels. And,
got it.
Yeah.
Were you strapping the front end
Yes,
at that point? Okay.
everything.
Everything.
I was
so
all
strapped
in.
down,
Yeah.
ready to go. All right, so you
I
get
probably
back.
didn't send you that picture
you get back from Dallas the second time. I'm sure we're still doing the YouTube thing, putting out videos, you know, having fun, catching a lot of
wave.
Yeah, man, for
still
sure.
being discreet with the helmet.
100%. 100%. And this is 2016 still, right?
Yeah. So we into 16 now.
So when did Dallas actually come down here?
I think they came around Texas 2K.
In 16.
Texas 2K in 16. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they came down here. A lot of guys from other cities came down.
Yeah.
And at that point, that's when I dropped the swing arm on there. You should have a picture.
So what made you think that, okay, stock wheelbase, let's push that to the side. I need to be quicker. Let's put an arm on this bad boy and see what we can do.
Man, the nitrous, man, the nitrous. I couldn't stock wheelbase. I couldn't do too much with the nitrous guys, man. Yeah. And I had to.
Is that it?
Especially with the, no, it should be a night picture, but it's essentially the same setup with a little bit longer, and carbon wheels, and yeah.
So you got a light frame tail on there, right?
Not on this one.
No?
This is the stock tail. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's the
But this was my 2016.
Yeah.
So the other one was a 2015.
Yeah. I don't think he has it.
Yeah,
No?
I don't have
Okay.
one.
Yeah. So it was well, just let me paint the picture a little bit. It was the whole Deadpool theme, like you saw before with the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
And it had an evil swing arm, a 2 to 6 swing arm,
2 to 6
with carbon fiber wheels.
Nice.
And that was pretty much. Oh, lightweight subframe. At that point, I'm starting to gut things out and battery, all that good stuff.
And let me ask you this: how was Bren playing a part in this? Were you rocking different tunes? Were you just doing one tune at that time, or was he sending you stuff? Hey, try this. Hey,
Yeah, I was kind of a guinea pig for a lot of his trial and error runs.
Yeah.
And I think Ness was too. Ness was a kind of a guinea pig for him too.
So for 2K, when they came down, did Ness come down as well?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so how were those runs?
Again, it was the same, trading blows. He would win one, I would win one.
And he was still stock wheelbase?
Yeah. That messed with me a little bit, man. Yeah. He was still stock wheelbase.
He was quick, man.
I couldn't understand how he was able to launch his bike like that, stock wheelbase, until because all the runs prior to the swing arm I was doing in the city were from second gear. I've never tried to do first gear. It was all from second gear. And so when that was my biggest question for him. Like, man, how you launching out like this?
First gear.
Stock wheelbase. Yeah, he said he was doing for second gear too, but I know that, he's not launching out from second like that. It's hard. It's launching out hard.
And y'all were doing 60s, huh?
60 rolls, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so he came down. You guys are still trading blows. Nobody else was really keeping up with y'all, or anybody else in the conversation. That was
Beamer Boy. Beamer Boy had a fast Beamer too.
He's from Amarillo.
Amarillo, yeah.
Yeah, I remember him.
He was pretty nasty with his setup, and I couldn't understand his whatever he had going on either, because he was a bigger guy. He was about 200 pounds, and he was running with us.
That's crazy.
It didn't make sense to me. Yeah.
So you would consider 2K a success?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Because I didn't take too many L's for 2K.
Yeah,
and I was prepared to run anybody.
Everybody. Yeah, and that's a big deal because to kind of unbox this 2K thing, there's a lot of people, guys. There's a lot of bikes, and it's the fastest of the fast. Just kind of like the same thing with the cars. We kind of do that with the bikes. So okay, 2K is up. What was next after that?
Let me see what happened with my 15. Again, I was running that bike hard. I had that bike for a good 3 years.
Yeah.
Right. So let's fast forward.
I remember that bike.
So 15,
so
16.
Let me ask you this: when you and I raced, what bike were you on? Was that the same 15?
What year?
That was 17. When it was you and me.
Yeah, it probably was that same 15.
Yeah.
That
bike was
same
quick.
15. So I think around the end of 20. 2017, that's when the motor popped on it.
It finally gave out. Yeah.
But then again, that opened up a whole new realm for me because I didn't understand, what happened. So I'm like, I went out riding one day like usual, and it just clunked out.
That's it.
Yeah, it didn't have anything, and
roughly how many miles did you have on it?
Ooh, maybe about 6,000 miles, maybe.
Oh, that's it.
Wow. Yeah.
But that's 6,000 hard miles.
Oh yeah, that's high RPM. You know.
That's
About
screaming.
6,000 miles, yeah.
Motor killer
That's
line.
yeah. That's and they have a saying: RPM kills motors. And
Yeah.
when you're high in that RPM, you're doing 200 miles an hour. It's not the best with the bike. So what happened there? Were you? You said you bought the bike new. This was 2017. Were you able to warranty the bike?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh,
BMW.
nice.
Look at his
stepped
smile,
up.
bro. Look at that smile.
Yeah, man.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I think BMWs you have the 3 years warranty, right?
36,000.
36,000.
I was
So,
right around the 3-year mark.
Yeah.
I think I lucked up because it was something that had never happened before, right? So, I mean, it was new to them. It was new to everybody. So,
Oh, wow.
they honored it, and I picked up 2017.
Wait a minute. So they shipped you a new motor. They bought the bike back.
They
How
bought
did?
it back.
And shout out to BMW, bro.
Yeah, shout out to them, man.
Yeah, that's
They-
why.
Just like that.
Alex was riding one of my BMWs. He blew it up with 2,000 miles.
Damn.
So
First
is that what,
of all-
is that what the motor
so
killer name
shout
came
out,
from?
shout out to
No.
What's that
BMW.
story?
They sent me a brand new motor.
No.
Within a month, I had the bike back. So big shout out.
That boy muted me. That wasn't me. JD was actually the one riding.
So how'd that ride go, man? Let me hear this.
Well, JD is the one who could tell you because he was like on the bike and heard some clanking.
Oh, okay. Well, which year? Which year?
This was actually 2021.
The new gen.
That was the orange one, right?
That's the
yeah,
orange
orange one.
Oh, didn't you have a name for it too?
That was Tangerine.
Tangerine. Yeah.
That was
Yeah, I
Tangerine.
remember that bike. Yeah.
Yeah, good bike. It was a good bike. And
Until-
shout out to
until you blew
BMW.
it.
Yeah, until I let Alex ride it one time and he assassinated it. So the
That's
sniper
funny.
that he is, the motor sniper, the motor assassin himself. Okay, so back to the story. We're at 2017 here. The bike blew. It gave out. BMW bought it back. Big shout out to them for doing that, standing behind their product.
Yeah.
And what happened after that?
After that, I went right into a 2017.
Is that the gray one?
That's the
white one.
White one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that bike.
Yeah, I remember
That's
that bike.
clean bike.
Yeah. And man, I used to run somebody down here.
Oh, there it is right
yeah,
there.
that's it.
So I see Rotobox wheels on it
Yeah.
right off the bat. I see the swing arm.
Yeah.
I see the what is that? Acura, or is that a Brox?
Yeah, that's an Acura.
That's an Acura, right? Yeah, Acura exhaust.
That's the first time I went to
That's a light
titanium.
frame.
Subframe.
Subframe. Yeah, I see that.
The race tail,
Yes.
What kind of fender is that? The front fender.
the front fender. That's a booster fender.
Oh yeah.
And I had it painted to kind of
Match the bike.
match the
Yeah.
bike and.
So let's talk about that for a second, because a lot of guys don't know why we actually do that. So why did you put a booster fender on a BMW?
Well, everybody knows the Booster has great aerodynamics.
Yeah, that's Alex's favorite bike. Actually.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Shout out to
The
Hayabusa.
Downforce.
Yeah. So as far as the effect of that fender, I don't notice a huge difference until you get to the top end.
Big end.
Yeah, that's when you notice it kind of stays down a little bit, stays planted a bit better, and it pulls a little bit harder up top. And at that point, I think the booster fender became a thing.
Yes.
And I was all into the roll scene. Well, not necessarily all in just yet, because you can see I still have the full brake setup and all that. But
this is a pretty legit setup
Yeah.
right here, dude.
Yeah,
this
appreciate
is
that.
this is when you're talking roll racing setup, this is only thing you're missing is the one, like you said, the one front brake off. But you're pretty much there. So how would you compare? This is a 2017.
This is 2017. Yeah.
So how would you compare your 17 to your 15?
I don't think I've had a faster Beamer than my 15 up until 2020.
Why do you say that? So if you raced yourself with your 15 and your 17, how would that race go?
I'm smacking the 17.
Really?
Oh,
Easy.
no way. No way.
Yeah. The 15 had a little bit more grunt in my opinion. And I don't know if it's the way that I broke it in, but then again, I could be wrong too, because that was a bike that kind of started the whole thing. That's when I started feeling real power too. So
Yeah.
that's probably why I'm saying that. But I've heard these are supposed to be faster, but I was hitting big numbers, 200 on the 15, where this one would top off at like 190 something, 194, 195 with the same gearing, same setup. So that's why I say the 15 was a bit stronger. Yeah.
So what when you were taking that out, how did you ever race the Dallas guys with that?
Let's see. I raced a new group of Dallas guys.
Okay, let's talk about them.
Yes.
How was that?
They came down here.
Okay.
Right. They came down here to Houston, and that went well. Like I don't think I took any L's that day on that bike, and that I'm a little broken up about this one. It was short lived too.
All right, let's talk about that. So what happened here? This is 2017.
2017.
How long did you own that bike?
I want to say maybe 6-7 months.
What happened?
So after the 15, that story happened. 15 is gone. Pick that up, and then I start making the transition with the mods for roll racing. And at this point, I'm all into the roll racing scene, and I'm locked in on it. And so I start setting up. Of course, you got to go in, do a few rides. Well, not a few. You got to do multiple rides before you get a good setup and be comfortable with the way the bike is going to perform. So that picture was probably one of the last pictures I took of it, where the setup was complete. Right, the setup was complete. I had it how I wanted it to look, how I wanted it to perform, and I had a race day on it, and it did well. And then I went back out again like a couple weeks later to do some more testing. I took it out to my usual spots, took it up the road. Beautiful day in Houston. Now y'all know how Houston weather is, right?
Yeah.
So I turned back around to come home. Dark.
Oh.
Now this is like in the afternoon too. Like it almost turned pitch black, rain, everything coming down. I'm like, what the heck just happened? In the few minutes that I took it down the road and turned back around. So, I'm riding home trying to take it easy, and I hit a puddle in the road.
Yeah.
So when it first starts raining, the mixture with the water and
The grease
oil and all
in
that,
the street.
right? So it just sits there for a while. I hit that puddle and I hydroplane it.
Oh shit.
So I hydroplane. I'm rolling this way, hydroplane. I turn this way.
Oh.
Boom. And I tried to correct it, turn the other way. Boom. Now at this point right here, I'm looking at the road this way, but the bike is facing the ditches.
Oh wow.
So I'm sideways floating, right? And so finally I was like, you know what? I tried to correct it one more time, and I saw that I wasn't gonna correct it, and I just kind of leaned into it and let it slide out. But I was fine. I wasn't injured or anything, because I wasn't going that fast.
Like what, 20, 30 miles maybe?
I want to say about 20, 30, yeah.
Okay.
You had gear on.
On, everything. So and I knew it was there's no way I was gonna correct me looking at the road, sideways. So.
What kind of tires were you running? Dunlops or
I was running
Slicks.
Michelin.
Oh, Michelin's?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. The Power RS's?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
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 I think that's at the time that's a tire that everybody was kind of running.
Because it was a brand new tire. Go back to the picture. I think it might be on there. See what tire was on it. But yeah, it was a unfortunate situation, and
How was the bike?
yeah, the bike wasn't bad.
Was it still
I
rideable?
Yeah, I rode it home.
Okay.
I had, I think, a few, my radiator holes probably, did the Samco hoses. I probably it popped off. I put it back on and rode it home, smoothly. And then I think I was more hurt. My pride was more hurt because I put so much time, well, to me it felt like a lot of time, but it was a short period of time where I did a lot of work to it to get it the way it's set up.
Fine-tuned to what it was, yeah.
Yeah, and took it out, and that happened. I was like, I'm crushed. I was like, I'm done with all these bikes. I'm sick of it. I don't want no part of it. I took it in, right? Ended up being totaled.
That is crazy because this is coming from a man that broke a wrist and broke an ankle, went down at 20 miles an hour. It's like, man, screw this. So that's too different.
Yeah. I think I had experienced a lot, man, at that point, man. And I got to, my pride was more hurt than anything. I wasn't hurt.
Yeah.
I wasn't in pain, nothing. I didn't have no damage to me. The bike had some cosmetic, I could have fixed. But I was just like, I don't want to ride anymore. I'm done. So
what'd you end up doing with that bike?
It was totaled out.
It was totaled out.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It wasn't. It wasn't totaled out, but it was totaled out.
I got you.
Yeah. Say less.
I got you.
Stay firm. You got that?
Good thing I'm not with it. So.
And this was 2018.
This was late 17.
Late 17.
Late 17. Yeah.
Okay, so when you sold everything, how long was it before you picked up riding again?
Well, it wasn't my call. It wasn't my call to do that, and I think I have a wonderful wife, man. I can't express that anymore. So when I left the whole bike scene, it was months. I want to say a good 6 months, right?
That's still nothing.
No?
Jack, in 5 to 6 months.
That's a lot of time, man. That's a lot of time in my opinion, man. So, but I guess she felt like I was moping around the house quite a bit.
So let's rewind a little bit. Let's unpack that statement you just made about having a great wife. How was that conversation like when you pulled in the house and the bike was wrecked again?
It wasn't nothing.
No
major.
big deal.
It was like we got insurance, get it fixed, or do what you're gonna do with it, and move on. Like she don't dwell on negative things. I don't dwell on it either.
That's awesome.
Stay positive for the most part, and got rid of the bike. And I was again, my pride was more hurt than anything, and I was like, okay, I don't want to ride anymore. I'm done. And about 6 months later.
Okay.
7 months.
Fast forward.
I'll give you 7 months.
Fast forward 7 months. What happened? Did the itch come back? I mean, what's going on?
It didn't come back. But my wife was like, "Look, you're not doing anything.
You need a
in the
hobby,
house, right? You need a hobby. You need to do something." And I think my brother-in-law decided to sell his bike because he had the
Honda.
Had a red. No, not the Honda. At that point, he had the red BMW, which is the one you posted up a few times
that
just
Deadpool?
now. Yeah, that was the second Deadpool bike. And he had that bike, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna sell it since you're not riding anymore. And my wife was like, well, since he wants to sell his bike,
And you need a bike. You need something to do.
I need you out of my hair. Yeah, that bike right there.
That bike? Oh.
Yeah. I need you out of my hair, so go ahead and buy it. I was like, cool.
When you bought it, was it set up like this? This bike is set up. You got no headlight. You got
no, the headlight is there.
No, I think
It's-
he
it's,
got like
uh,
red tape or something.
Yeah, it's red tape.
Oh, it's taped off. Okay.
Yeah, it's taped off. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was set up for the most part. But I did all the work.
Was he into the roll racing thing too?
He did it for me.
Got it.
He was my wingman. He was
I
my
gotcha.
guy. To make sure I was safe.
Yeah.
Jack's a bad influence.
Yeah, I was his bad influence. Even to this day, I'm still his bad influence. But yeah, he really just got the bite just to I guess be my guardian angel. Shout out to you, brother.
Yeah.
There you go.
Big shout out.
He,
That's what's up.
he's always looking out for me. So so when he got that, I set it up for him. Again, he would only ride if I was going out riding, but I think he had already disconnected from the whole bike scene altogether himself.
Yeah.
And then when my bike was gone, he was all right. Well,
Yeah, I don't need a
I
bike
don't need a
anymore.
bike anymore. And my wife was like, well, you moping around the house, not doing anything, and I know how much you like to work on these bikes and do this. How about you just buy his, so you guys could, fix each other's problems or whatever. So I bought it, and then I finished the setup.
And this is 2018.
Yeah, 2018. Yeah, about 2018, 2019. I had that bike for a good 2 years.
And what year is this bike?
This is a 2016.
2016 bike.
Now, the difference you can see between the two is the forks.
Okay.
The first Deadpool had black forks.
Mm.
And this one has the electronic suspension with the gold forks.
So between, at this point, your 3 BMWs.
3 BMWs, yeah.
When you lining them up, you still think your 15's the
Actually,
fastest?
no. I'm oh, we're not counting the first BMW?
Oh, 4 BMW.
4
Yeah, 4
BMW.
Yeah, but you weren't really into the racing scene then.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
as far as your roll racing setup, between the 3 that you had set up,
15 still got it.
still
man.
15 still got
Yeah.
it. So what were you topping out at here on this bike?
Around the same, 195, 196, with the same gearing, same
everything.
setup. Yeah.
Kilometers.
Yeah. Kilometers, yeah. Yeah, it was something about the 15 that was just different. I want to say the forks played a big part, and I think the forks were probably lighter because it's not in the electronic suspension setup.
Quick question though, was the 15 whenever you were hitting those numbers, was it with the swing arm or no swing arm?
Either or.
Oh, it was still
Yeah.
doing it? Okay, because I've heard also you put a swing arm, you kind of lose a little bit on the big end. I'm not sure if that's. I've never kind of dove into it.
Yeah, it depends, and I think there's like a point where that effect comes to play.
Yeah, okay.
So I never went past 5.5 over.
Okay.
Right. So I think once you start going 6, 7, 8, that's when you start losing the mile power. So if you stay short,
Yeah.
you'll see for the most part every setup is about 5.5.
Yeah. Nothing considerable. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I have seen some guys that are crazy stretches on there, thinking
yeah.
they're gonna run these crazy mile per hour numbers.
Yeah,
and
it's not gonna happen.
It ain't gonna happen.
So what kind of work were you putting in with that bike? So let's talk about your first ride on that bike after your second accident, after hydroplaning. How was that?
I mean, it was. I was home. It's like it did feel a little different because I had felt power before,
Yeah.
and this bike wasn't fully set up and tuned like the others, right? Because the other ones I was all in
Yeah.
my 12 and all that good stuff, right? But this bike was just pump gas, chill. You go out, you race, whatever, come home. And I think this bike kicked off. Actually, no, we didn't even talk about the YouTube, when the YouTube kicked off. The YouTube kicked off around 2015, right? That's when I started making the funny videos.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of guys that used to talk a lot of trash
All over the internet.
all over the internet.
Yeah.
And I used to drop little skits here and there
Yeah,
just to
little
make
jabs.
fun. Little jabs, right? And but that was after the race. I was never the one to call anybody out,
Right.
talk trash.
Yeah.
They would see my videos, see my stuff, see my posts, and have a lot of slick comments and stuff, especially on Facebook. I don't know why.
That's how it is.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay quiet. We gonna see. Let's set up a race. Let's do something. And after the race, that's when I go all in with all kind of jokes and funny characters and all that. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely good times. That was a lot of fun. I feel like almost the whole city was involved in coming out to these type of events and races, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it became a thing. It
for
became
sure.
a big thing, man.
Yeah.
Like it got to the point where other cities wanted in.
Oh, yeah.
Like they want to know, okay, y'all having too much fun over there. We're seeing all these videos. We want some of this action too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think around 2018, that's when that started to shift again. I think did a second Texas 2K event, and you had like Louisiana, Atlanta, and guys from north, like all over coming down for a Texas 2K event. I'm like, that's a long trip y'all taking to just come down and race. But yeah, it was a whole movement at that point, man.
I think by that time you had like 2-3 years of content of check this out, and I feel like that's kind of what
Kinda pushed the thing.
gravitated people here.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I think around that same time too, that's when I was like, okay, you know what, let me shift things a little bit. I can still do the racing thing here and there, but I need to kind of push this channel into something serious. Like I had not taken it serious that whole time up until around 2018. That's when I was like, you know what, let's monetize this joker. Let's, you know, get some FaceTime on there and talk to the people and get some feedback and all of that and make it something. Yeah.
So that was like, I guess, like the shift for you.
Yeah.
To kind of.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a good timing, you know, also. I feel like, you know, you had kind of like the history, you kind of maybe had like the hype, you know, on it. So you kind of, you know.
Yeah, it turned out well, man. And there was a lot of guys that, again, like I mentioned before, you know, with the Asshole by Nature, he had a big channel too, but his was a straight racing too. 650E, him and Asshole used to go back and forth all the time. And, you know, I think I was around the same time, 2018 is when I met those guys from Ohio, I believe. Yeah, Cleveland area. Anyways, but yeah, it became a thing to, you know, do YouTube and put those type of videos out there on YouTube, yeah.
So that 2016 bike, you had it for how long? Or
I had it for about 2 years. 2 years. And then, let me see, the next bike I moved for too, I had another one of my guys that had a BMW. So, which is the Fire Blue, 2012.
Oh, yeah.
So, that bike was so popular, man, for what it was.
It still is, I feel like.
There she is.
Right there, yeah.
There she
Yeah,
is.
and I think we went out one time.
Yeah,
and
you had it.
had some good pictures.
Yeah.
I think that time when we went out, my stabilizer was jacked up.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, you
Yeah.
mentioned something like that. Yeah, it was like it's
Yeah.
not working. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it was jacked up, man. I had to get a new stabilizer.
You had
Yeah.
white wheels on it, didn't you?
Yeah, I had white
I
wheels
remember
on
that
it.
bike. Yeah.
I ended up selling the white wheels. It was hard to clean.
Trust me, the blade.
Yeah.
We're doing the same thing right now. Don't know what to use. If you guys know, let us know
Man.
down in the comments.
Yeah, I think WD.
I tried it. So WD to me, I mean, this little backstory, like it works on black wheels, carbon wheels, no problem. Then white wheels, if the rag is somewhat dirty, it's just gonna smear it. Yeah.
Oh,
So at least with me, like that's kind of my story with it. But I'm trying to use other little chemicals and it's still nothing. I mean, it cleans it, but you gotta be, you know, with a clean rag. I think that's kind of like the key.
Try some Dawn dish liquid.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about it. That's a good idea.
They be cleaning birds and stuff.
Yeah, the ducks. yeah.
All right, so let's go back to 2018. What, you know, you had that bike. Do you still have that bike, the 2018, or what happened? The one you brought from your brother-in-law.
Yes, I did. So that's when I started getting into. Actually, let me back up a little bit.
Yeah,
I met you, and I think you guys kind of opened my eyes to expanding my options a little bit. So I'm like, man, these guys got some bikes, man. I was like, man, they got some bikes, man. Let me go ahead and get my life together so I can, you know, get some bikes in my stable too. So that's when, at that point, my buddy had the Fire Blue, and I had the red one, and I purchased his. I was like, man, let me, you know, he was trying to get rid of his bike. I was like, well, I'll buy it from you. I got it for a good price and started messing with that too.
You had it here in Houston?
Yeah,
Oh,
used
okay,
to, yeah. And I think he had it for a good 2 years. Probably put about 500 miles on it.
Oh,
Not even broken in.
Well, that bike is a 2012. It only came out in
2012,
2012, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So he bought it in 16. And I bought it from him in 18. Yeah, he put about 500 miles on it.
Yeah, that's why it looks so minty, bro.
Yeah, and I was like, man, let me get that, man, because you're not doing anything with it, you know. And he finally sold it. He didn't want to sell it because of the color.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a rare color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's an OEM color.
Yeah, it's OEM.
OEM, yeah.
2012 is the only year.
Only year.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
So now you had two BMWs.
2 BMWs, yeah.
Okay.
And I started to do the same thing. Now that bike, I kept it stock wheelbase for the most part. I did put a swing arm on it for a short period of time, just to kind of feel out the setup. But it was like a 0 to 4, so it was super short.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I might as well stay stock wheelbase if I'm gonna go this short. And then I went back to stock wheelbase, and that's when I took it back out to Dallas. Now that was a whole different group of races now, because everybody's wanting to be a part of the whole race scene at this point. So I think me and Asshole by Nature had some good runs. Warren G, we had some good runs. He beat me. But it was in a bike that I was
on the 2012 you're talking about.
on the 2012. Me and ZX Mez we had a crazy run that lasted forever on that road, man. I don't even know how we were able to stay in it that long. I wish I had the clip to share it with y'all, man. But
What bike did he have on at the time?
he had a silver ZX10 Gen 5.
Oh yeah, I think I remember. Like kind of like a metallic silver.
Yeah,
right?
metallic silver,
I
yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, and we did a run, man, and we was side by side forever. I'm like, dude, get off the throttle, man. I'm done. Yeah, it was fun times. But at that point, I was in a different mindset too, right? Because I felt like I had gotten all the racing out of my system. Now I'm transitioning into the whole motor vlog and content creating. So that's what it was about for me at that point.
So what was next after the 2012? You actually have 2 BMWs now. What came next?
Now we coming up on 2020, and the K67 comes out. Right?
Now you're talking my language.
And again, you know why I bought a K67? You want to guess why I bought a K67? Because I went riding with y'all.
Yeah, this man right here. If you guys don't know or haven't heard, JD's, he was actually the first one in the city.
Yeah.
To, I think, 2019?
It was 29. It was
It's at 2020.
May of 2019. I had my K67.
And package. I guess that's yours right there, right?
Yeah, that's mine right there.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, he hit me up. He's like, you got to come check out this bike, man. I was like, dude, if I come check out this bike, man, you know what's going to happen.
Well, I knew you were big in BMWs like I was. So I wanted you to experience the difference of, man, what a huge difference.
It was. It was. We had some fun with that, too.
Yeah.
So you had pretty much, 4 bikes before that one, 4 BMWs. And now you went ahead and...
Let me see. Is it 4?
That's your 6th BMW.
That's your 6 already?
Yeah, 6 BMW, yeah.
Oh, with the 12, that's right.
Yeah.
So huge difference.
Yeah.
So you could say, Jack is like a BMW tech by this point.
For sure, 100%. For sure.
Man, you couldn't tell me nothing, man.
Yeah.
So let me ask this question: Is now we talked about lining up all your bikes. How would your K67 do versus your 2015?
Oh, it's smacking the 15, man.
Yeah?
It's smacking
Nasty.
it all day. This bike, I still don't think I've tapped into the full potential of it, even to this day. Because I still run it with traction control on, and I still have the ABS and all that. Like the 15, I was all in.
Yeah.
And this bike is crazy. Stainless steel, exhaust steel. It's not a huge.
It's a couple pounds.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, man. And then I run a stock wheelbase. I don't have to put a swing arm on it to.
Are they making a swing arm for them now?
Yeah, they do. They have two. They have two.
Okay.
I think Evo has one, and DME.
If I'm not mistaken, I think the swing arm, the OEM swing arm, you have a lot of kind of play
For sure.
where you could bring it back with like maybe 2 inches or something almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I took advantage of that.
Oh yeah.
I took advantage of that. I actually tried to ride it with traction control off a couple weekends ago.
Spinning.
It was spinning. Yeah.
Cold weather, hot weather.
Yeah, and if you have a good tire on there, like a Q5, you're gonna wheelie it.
Oh
easy.
really?
Yeah.
It's gonna hook.
Yeah.
Oh wow. What PSI are you running?
I was running 35
Oh, okay.
on the Michelin.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it was spinning. I'm like, man, this is not good. I need a hook.
Yeah.
So I put it back on, and it ran just fine.
So that's your 6th BMW, and you would probably say the best BMW?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, by far. Even to this day, I don't. Nah, I haven't ridden or been around the M's yet, so you know, I'm pretty sure those are stout too.
Oh no, the new one is a killer.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
different beast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
probably need to stay away from it.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, you
So I don't
could,
need any more bites, man.
no. You need to try it out for sure. You need to try it out.
Yeah, man.
Might
so-
make some content with it, you know.
yeah. Nah, I've seen what you guys have done with it, man. It's a great looking bike.
It's beautiful.
It's
it
beautiful,
really
man.
aesthetically, it's a sexy bike, man, for sure. I love what BMW did with the fairings and made it very aggressive, even
Yeah.
aggressiver than you know, the K67s.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so you got the K67. What did you transition to? And that's 2021.
No, that's
2020.
2020. Again, I tried to beat you to it, and I was like a year behind, man. So for the year 2020, I was one of the first to get one.
Right.
I think you got yours in 19.
I did.
Right?
Yeah, I did.
And it wasn't until after I rode yours, I was like, man, I need to get rid of these old clunkers. And
Yeah. So you got rid of the both BMWs? You
no,
have-
I kept them.
Oh, so this is you had 3 BMWs.
3 BMWs in the
Oh, man.
driveway. Yeah. 3 BMWs, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, this is nice. I had options at this
Oh
point.
yeah,
You
no, 100%. But then when you got that one, did you initially modify like the other ones, or you rode it like that for a little bit?
know?
or
I
how
rode
was
it stock for a while. Yeah,
Okay.
stock, and then I did the flash, and I had the Akrapovic exhaust initially, and it wasn't until like a year later Brock released his exhaust, the pentacarbon exhaust. So the story behind that, I think he was trying to find, you know, same thing, like people to really put the product out there, and I had one. He reached out to me and said, hey, you know, we got this. He would send me little parts here and there to test fit because he didn't have one in house. And I think 2020, you know, COVID kind of
Oh, that's
slowed a lot
right.
of things down. So he sent me a lot of parts, tested out, to give him some feedback, send some pictures, show the fitment, and you know, it became a thing. And when the pentacarbon came out, I just took a chance on that, right? Thinking, you know, it's a new product, let me try it out. And it turned out to be a great decision, man. Like, a lot of people don't believe how good that pentacarbon is
Yeah, shout out to Brock.
for a stainless steel exhaust.
OG, still
And,
doing
yeah, he's still going
Sure.
at it. And I did a full side by side comparison video of the Akrapovic exhaust versus the Brock's, and just the design. Of course, you know, Akrapovic is, you know, next level, right?
Top shelfish.
Top shelf,
you know?
yeah. So-
yeah. Oh,
But when you have them side by side, man, you see how just on the design altogether, in my mind, the exhaust flow better on the Brock's. And in addition to that, there was less material used on the Brock's, which cut down the weight. So the weight of the stainless steel pentacarbon was less than
The titanium?
Titanium.
Wow.
Akrapovic, yeah.
that's
It
yeah.
was like
that's,
2
that's
pounds
really
lighter.
good.
Yeah.
Because from what, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's better to run a stainless because you retain the heat. I guess or am I mistaken?
No,
Or
it's better to run titanium.
titanium.
Titanium,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the stainless steel, you don't make any huge difference in power,
Yeah.
unless there's like a real major difference. And I think
It's all about weight.
yeah, it's all about weight. Yeah, but I think with the in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think the Brock's make more power based on the design. Because if you look at the Akrapovic, it has 2 link pipes
Oh, in the middle.
in the middle,
Yeah.
and by the collector.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that kind of, I guess,
Restrict like
alter
the
the flow
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit.
I got you.
Yeah, where the Brock's is just straight through, you know. And then the little eyelets for the springs. The Akrapovic had like 18 on there. I think the Brock's had like 6 or 8.
Oh, okay.
So that's like weight.
yeah,
a little
lighter.
more weight that
yeah.
you
Okay.
knock off the exhaust. Yeah.
So it was worth kind of doing.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the price difference between the two?
Price difference was at the time was about $800 difference.
That's a big difference. Yeah.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
That's a big difference.
I think the Bronx was like 1,300, and the Croppervich was 22, 23.
Oh, it's
Right?
even more now.
Oh,
it?
yeah, like the price gone up, bro.
Yeah, you're 3 bands on the Acura right
Yeah.
now.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
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 Yikes.
Yep.
Everything's gone up.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yep. Okay, so then you got the K67. You know, you rode that around. How much are you riding at this point?
Man, at this point, man, I'm everywhere, man. I'm going to different cities, you know, just creating content.
So are you doing this full time? Are you a full-time content creator?
No, man. To be honest with you, the amount of miles I put on my bikes a year is laughable. Like my K67, I think I just hit 6,000 miles on it.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was 3 years.
Just hit 6,000 miles on it. So
To put that into perspective, Mona, my 2020 technically, is pushing. In the first year, I think I put about 10,000 miles on it.
and that's the carbon one, right?
That's the full carbon one.
Yeah, so that that says a lot. Like it looks like I do a lot of riding and
Yeah.
a lot of content, but I really don't, man. I get out every other weekend, and when I go out and ride, I ride enough to build enough content for like a month, maybe.
Right.
You know, that's why it looks like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that way you're pretty much capturing when you're going out and, you know, just kind of cutting it up. And okay.
Okay, so you got the K67. What came next? You've been a diehard BMW fan for a while. Now I've got a sneak peek in your stable. I know it's not all BMW now.
Nah.
So what happened that made you go to a different brand?
So again, man, you have I don't think you realize how much of a bad and good influence you have been over the years, man. I think after I got the K67, you hit me up, was like, hey, you gotta ride the H2R, man. You gotta check this out. I'm like, dude, stop calling me to ride these bikes, man, because you know what happens.
I'm not going to pick up your phone call no more.
Nah, I do appreciate you for every single, call, man. But
That's a beautiful bike.
yeah,
right there.
you hit me up and you was like, hey, man, come check out the H2. I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. So we did some content, which that video we did, it blew up. And even to this day, people are stealing our video and reposting it to other platforms. And I'm almost tagged almost every day
Yeah, I've seen
by
it
somebody.
a lot.
Yeah. I think you tagged me the other day, right? Was it today?
Yeah, that
Yesterday
was
or
me.
today?
Yeah.
Of our run.
Yeah.
And they're catching my voice. They don't edit anything. I'm like, at least put some effort into the work.
So just copy and paste, guys. Come on, please.
So the video that Jack is talking about, it was the Superleggera versus the H2R.
Yeah.
And yes, guys, I've been screenshot a lot of comments. It is an H2R. It is not an H2. It's a non-street legal bike.
Yeah.
Yes, we thug it. Yes, we ride it on the road. Yes, I don't give a fuck. Yes.
God,
Okay.
tell me how you really
'Cause I-
feel.
Yes, we had a good time.
Yeah, I'm so sick of hearing. Oh, that's not a H2R. That's H2. No, bro.
Yeah,
it's an H2R.
I think somebody said that comment one time. Like they were going back and forth. There's no way this is an H2R because you can't ride it on the street. I'm like, it's a
Why
bike.
can't you?
Yeah.
Right? So who's gonna stop me and say, oh, you can't have this bike and say it's not street legal?
Yeah,
you got to go through a process to verify that.
Four-wheelers aren't street legal, and I see them every once in a while on the street.
No, dirt bikes, bro.
Dirt bikes,
With
yeah.
no titles.
When y'all get time, we're gonna drop that video in the description. Y'all check it out. I think we're pushing about 2 million views right now.
Is it really?
I think we're about
Wow.
2 million views on that video. It's it was groundbreaking at the
Yeah, it
time,
was.
right?
It still is, bro.
It still is, right? It's still, and you and I have been talking about a part 2 for 2-3 years now.
Yeah,
we need to get that in the works, man.
There's a lot of unanswered questions
For
that
sure.
people had
For sure.
from the first video.
For sure.
A lot of people didn't know that was my first time being on any type of H2. First time being on a bike with that much power, over 300, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over 300 horsepower.
Yep. Not strapped, not
Not
lowered,
strapped, not
completely
lowered.
stock.
So, what you saw in that video was just a a rookie versus.
Well, it's not even, but like JDZ is downplaying it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, I give props to JDZ. If you follow me on IG or whatever, you see in the YouTube videos, I wheelie almost any bike. That H2R, that's the only one bike that I never wheelie, and I leave traction control on. This man right here is the only one I've ever seen bring that front wheel up and ride out a wheelie on an H2R. Like, that bike, I mean, I can see where you're coming from. That bike is not anyone could hop on and be good. And it's stock wheelbase, stock gearing.
Yeah.
So it's not like you have, a plus... no, a -4 or whatever on the rear sprocket. You know, you're still torquey to where it's an intimidating bike.
Yeah.
The way
what's stock gearing on that bike?
I think it's 42 in the
16,
rear.
16?
42,
42?
I'm not mistaken. I can't remember.
No, not 16. 18. 1842, right?
Yeah, 1842. If I'm mistaken, I gotta double check.
Oh, 40. Maybe, no, 1840, 41.
Is it 41?
40,
I think it is 41.
41?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, look that up, Russ. What's stock gearing on H2R?
I'll look it up. I got you guys.
Yeah. I'm curious to know, but I know one thing. If that bike gets re-geared, it's going to do 215. Easy.
Easy, yeah.
Easy. I think it's doing 210.
210, 212, I think.
Yeah, now.
GPS.
Yeah.
GPS.
Oh,
GPS,
yeah. We're not talking about speedo. We're talking about GPS verified speeds.
1842.
Yeah, 1842.
Yeah.
So most guys run 1941.
Yes.
With the stretch. So that kind of paint the picture for you guys so you can see how crazy this H2R is on gearing.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's the most insane bike I've ever ridden in my life, ever. You know, it's so much fun to ride, and we definitely need to get a part 2. For you guys who haven't seen the video, please check it out. I know I've said this before, but check it out. We're going to put it in the description. It was a blast that day.
Yes, it was.
Getting together, and I actually rode your bike for the first time that day.
Yeah, you did.
And I was in that video. I was
the flag man. You know,
yeah, no.
He's trying to hop in races too. You know, so.
Yeah, that was really cool, and I don't think anybody's done it yet. A Superleggera versus H2R. I mean, I feel like those are two behemoths in the
industry,
in the bike world.
Yeah.
You know,
would you put the M1000 in that class now?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Alex.
I'm diehard BMW, but to say this, the M is not flashed yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's because Alex takes forever to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, when the new generation of M will come out, we'll have this one flash.
Yeah.
So
2026, guys.
Yeah, 20. So I will re-answer that question to you once we get the 23 completely set up.
It's
for a stock bike, it's fast.
Exactly. For a stock bike, it's fast. I feel like the Leggera, just the weight of it. You know, I feel like the M is never gonna get to that. You know, I guess class. It's gonna come close, but you know, you're still speaking about $100,000 bike versus $50,000 bike. The H2R $60,000 bike. So I feel like, and supercharged. It's not NA. So I don't know. I mean, I think it'll be a good run, but Beamer's good and fast and all, but like you said, the Leggera and H2R are just two
different monsters. Yeah.
So there's still, like you said, a lot of questions unanswered. What was your biggest takeaway from that day when you put up, the Leggera versus the H2R?
Man, in my mind, I was thinking, this is crazy. Seriously, man, I was like, how are we even doing this? Making this possible? Because this is crazy. Because I'm thinking of the price point of these bikes.
Oh yeah.
The performance of these bikes, and we're doing something so simple that could shift everybody's perspective on these two bikes, and it did. Right? Because I got a lot of backlash in the comments on that video. Because, why do you have this bike on the street? Or you should take it to the track. I was like, what? There's other guys that's probably doing that on the track already. And you guys have seen those videos.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
How often are you going to see two bikes of this caliber on the street, But yeah, I thought it was nuts, man.
And this is coming from a guy that had 6 BMWs, fastest of the fastest, dialed in, and to think like that, it kind of shows you the level of bikes.
So let me ask you the $1 million question here, Jack. If you could only get one of those bikes, which one would you get? And don't let price put
It would have to be the H2R, man. H2R, man. Cause I mean, the Super Leg is beautiful. The Super Leg is beautiful, man. Yeah. But there's something about that supercharger and
the top speed, bro.
Just everything about that H2 that. And I've never been a fan of the looks of the H2. I mean, put that out there. I've always thought it was an ugly bike, in my opinion.
No.
But I think that's what sets it apart and makes it beautiful. Because you're not gonna get something that looks like this and performs like this on another platform. In my, that was my opinion. But and I think that's what made me fall in love with it, because it's so different. The Super Leg, I think in a lineup you could probably it might disappear a little bit for a split second, and then you realize, oh, that's a $100K bike. Because I've seen that happen too, in bike meets, where guys will pull up on their Super Leg. Yeah, it stands out for a while, but after a while, you forget it. It's there. H2R, you ain't never seen that happen.
Yeah.
Even regular H2s, you pull up to any meet, you never lose that attention on an H2. Yeah.
Now you do have a very, very big point, because I think at our cycle gear event there was like a guy that came with a Superleggera, and you see it, it looks like a duck, but you can see the winglets, and like, oh yeah, it's Superleggera, but I don't feel like people, they notice it, but like you said, it gets kind of lost. The H2R, we take it out there and people are like the carbon, the wheel, everything.
Everything. And I think the Super Leg has more carbon than the.
It does.
I mean, it's a full
H2R.
carbon, the subframe and everything else.
Yeah, the Leggera, everything is carbon on it.
Is there something about the H2R that's just different, man? Like,
it's something about throwing your leg over a stock bike and going over 210 miles an hour. Without doing anything. I'm talking no flash, no filter, no exhaust. Nothing. You get on the bike and you open that throttle and you're going over 210 miles an hour. It's crazy. It's crazy. It really is.
In that video, man, I will say I was scared the whole time. So.
Me and you, bro. Me and you.
My riding showed for it, because I think I babied it a little too much. I think towards the ends that's when I started getting comfortable. But
you were coming around nasty at the end.
Yeah.
But to Alex's defense, his tire was done.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was
5,000 miles on it, right?
It was done. And that tire was so done that actually your BMW was starting to come around it. If you go back and you watch the video, you'll see that's how bad that tire was cooked. It literally had nothing left. We had done so many top end runs.
I had like wire all the way around.
All the way around.
Really?
Yeah, all the way around. So just to backtrack a little bit, before we did that, we didn't touch on this. We actually did the H2R versus the HP4 race.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
We sure did.
Yeah, and that's never been done either. And I just want to kind of get your comments on riding the HP4 race. What'd you think about that bike?
It was a different level of power too.
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
The bike was very unique.
Yes.
Again, I had gotten used to seeing colors and stuff, and I think the dash kind of threw me off a bit.
Yep.
Right, so I had to adjust quite a bit. No kickstand, so
that's Alex's favorite part.
I'm like, okay. I was like, man, this thing is different too.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the expectations, the way that the Super Leg and the H2R performed as a video,
right?
That's what I was expecting from.
But it still did about 300,000-400,000 views. It wasn't a bad.
It did good.
Yeah, it's not a bad video.
But I it's not talked about to this day. Like,
I feel like the BMW is more of the HP4 race is not hyped up. You know, I feel like if you talk about HP4 race, people are going like, oh, you know, like they're gonna kind of maybe combine it with the previous HP4. You know, to where
it's a bona fide track bike. You know, I know the H2R is a track bike, but it's really not. Nobody rides a 500-pound bike on the track. It doesn't happen, right? Yeah. They make it a track bike because it's not street legal. But the HB4 race sole purpose was to be a track bike, full carbon. Like, man, you can ask Alex when the first time I rode that bike, I felt at home, man.
Yeah.
That built motor, you know, it's
I've seen one road race conversion of that bike.
Really?
Oh yeah, I have seen it. Yeah. He uses what I told you. So yeah, it doesn't have a kickstand. Yeah. So the times that we would run it, you literally have to stand on that bike.
Yeah.
You know, you just have to chill with the homies. You know, just standing around you. You know, and I think the guy that did it, he used like a triangle, like for like a dirt bike.
Yeah.
And he put it, you know, inside the little, I guess rear axle. Mm-hmm. And I believe Carlos from V1, I think he put a kickstand on the carbon frame. Yeah. I'm not sure how good that is, you know, but you kind of have to, you know, and like JD is saying, it just kind of shows to where that bike is solely meant for the track to put on on the kickstands.
It has one purpose. That's a track weapon right there.
Yeah, I put it on the stands and put the tire warmers on it. I mean, it has no key. To turn it on is literally a little toggle. You know, so don't leave that in Jack's apartments because that for sure gonna be gone.
And was it Rowdy? He actually pulled more weight out of that bike.
Oh, doing
that
what?
road race setup.
Cutting the wire harness or what?
I don't know, but he dropped some weight off. of that bike. And
cut tank?
No cut tank.
That's
I haven't seen a cut tank.
Yeah.
But I know he did the single rotor setup.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You know, I think probably fabricated like the tail section a little bit to cut some weight off.
Did he put the swing arm? Or
no.
The swing arm?
So
that's
a suitor swing arm on that bike. Yeah. That swing arm on that bike cost $15K.
Ooh.
15,000 with the HP4.
And I don't think he was able to do a swing
Don't
arm
ask
conversion.
me. No.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah, man.
Nah, it was definitely, and I believe when we were doing all this was late 2020.
Yeah.
We were actually getting out with the Leggera, the H2R, the HB4 race, you know, the K67. You know, but I feel like BMW kind of like what they did from 2014 to 2015 is, you know, the HB4 race is badass, but I feel like that K67 can almost get there too.
Yeah.
If you do the right mods, if you get the right tune, if you do the right lightweight work for half the money, you pretty much have an HB4 race there, you know. So okay, we touched on that. You got your H2. Let's talk about that. What were your thoughts when you got your H2?
Again, you were a major influence in that, man.
That's a beautiful bike.
Yeah, you know, after riding your H2R, I just had to get one. And I'm like, man, this dude, every time he calls me out and try something out, I'm like, I end up getting it. So, yeah, I was fortunate enough to get my hands on one, and it wasn't in the best shape when I got it. And I, you know, cleaned it up a bit and started doing my content again and you know, my racing with it. And yeah, it was great. I think on this bike, man, my top speed I hit on that was 212.
Woo. Yeah. And what mods were on that bike? You had gears. You had supercharger gears.
Supercharger gears.
What stage?
I think it's stage 2.
Stage 2.
Stage 2.
Okay.
I had the H2R cams, carbon wheels.
Okay.
VST, the Brock's Alien head, which I don't think was the best exhaust for that bike, but I think it you know, it was pretty much set up for the most part. It had a DME swing arm that was like crazy long. I think it was like a 6 to 10 or something before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I switched it to the 2 to 4 to make it shorter. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
What tune? What flash were you running? Were you running a Woolrich or were you running Brock's?
I think it was Woolrich flash. As far as the tune that was on it, I don't know who tuned it. I never knew who tuned it because it changed hands a few times before it got to me. But when I got it, I did get it checked out, put it on the dyno, make sure the FR was good, and it put down some good power. It made 294.
That's solid
on pump gas.
Oh yeah, that's good.
And I was happy with that. I didn't try race gas or anything. 'Cause, I've always, learning from other H2 owners that they are kind of finicky sometimes. If you push them too hard, they'll
blow up, bro.
Yeah.
No, ain't no doubt. Alex is blown up 3.
Tell me how I know.
Yeah. Don't ask me how I know.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So you got the H2R. You're out there doing content. What was next after that?
The next bike, actually, we skipped one.
What we skip?
We skipped the BMW.
Yeah, the black one.
The
right?
black one, yeah.
So
that
cool.
one came before the. No, it came right after the H2. Right?
So
H2.
close, right?
No, the black one
that's
is
the M package.
That one?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, okay. That's what, 2012?
That's a
2011?
2016.
16.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
okay.
I know.
Yeah, my homie
Okay.
Q, kicking it with Q.
Yeah.
Check him out on YouTube. He had that bike. He's a big guy.
Okay.
He's a big guy, like 6'2", 6'3", almost 300 pounds.
Oh, yeah, that's a big
He's
dude.
a big dude.
Yeah,
so,
he needs a
That's a
booster, bro.
bullseye,
He needs
yeah.
a 14.
yeah, so he had that bike, man, and it was in bad shape. When I got it from him, he decided to get rid of it, and I was like, man, I'll fix it up, get it cleaned up and stuff, and picked it up from him. And I think I was trying to relive a moment with that bike
Yeah.
because I had all the previous gens, and I ended up selling them and or wrecked them. And then when I got the K67 and then the H2, I was all right. Let me go back one more time to feel that that previous gen feel all over again and set it up. And I think I just finished the whole setup to make it clean and everything firing off, and yeah.
So you got this. This came after your H2, right?
Yeah, after the H2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what came after this?
After this one, I got a call from one of my buddies that owns a Triple R. You want to guess who it is? So he hit me up, hey man, you gotta check out this bike.
Yeah.
I was
Went
like,
to
all right.
Honda.
I was like, really? All right, I'll check it out. So we went out, right? We did some runs on it, right? With the
Yeah, somehow I ended up on. I think you ended up on it. I was on some other. What was I on?
You was on the
Old.
you was on the K67, right?
No, I think I was on the older M.
The
Wasn't it?
original M.
I think I was
Oh,
on
yeah,
the OG
yeah,
M.
yeah.
Put me on a stock bike. Yeah.
Yeah. You was on the M, yeah, sure was. And I think at that point I had taken that bike to Brent Tuning and got it. When he first started to do the flashes on him and stuff.
It's so new. Yeah.
Yeah, that trip was crazy, man. I made that trip by myself.
Oh yeah.
36 hours, man.
Where's it at?
In Boston.
Boston.
Yeah.
Ooh, by yourself?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, man. It was fun though. But a lot of time to think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was a fun trip. Take it up there to Brent Tuning, and they flashed it, and they put down some great power.
Oh yeah.
It put down 206 on pump
Oh,
For
yeah.
a Honda.
for a
Yeah.
Honda.
Oh, Honda came out swinging.
Yeah, and I took my Beamer up there too, my K67, and that made 207. So it was like,
Right there.
yeah, right there. But what's crazy, the power delivery on the Honda is different, man.
Totally different.
For them to make the same power,
Yeah,
it
it's
still
totally different.
walks away from my K67, and my K67 is damn near, max effort with weight reduction, single rotor, and you got a fully weighted Honda walking away from that bike. It's insane. It's just a slip on that bike.
That's a Leo Vince, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Only reason I did that because in that I think the first few RPMs you feel that lag in power.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
the
know what
only
that
reason why.
is. I don't know what that is.
So there's a flapper on the inside, like right before the exhaust itself.
Right.
There's a flapper. So if you're under, I think 6,000,
Uh-huh.
all your exhaust fumes go through that small, that 1-inch pipe. Once you go past the 6,000, then it opens up
to the main pipe. Yeah,
to the main pipe. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that bike, I mean, I guess what you rode it, you like the Honda,
Yeah, man. This dude, man. Everybody he gets, he's like, oh, it's a great bike. I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. I can't argue that. So I need it now.
Yeah.
Did you tell him about the new one?
No, don't tell me nothing else, man.
Is that why I'm here?
Yeah, I fell in love with it, man. Just on that one run that we did, I was just like, this is crazy. Because to me, you know, at that point, BMW was top dog in my opinion. There's nothing that can, you know, beat that bike as far as design, looks, like features, like a all around package. There was nothing that would make me want anything else. And I had the Ace too, which was already a fast bike.
Oh yeah.
But then here comes Honda, not being known for being fast.
Yep.
You know, and to dominate the M package the way it did, I was like, I gotta have that, man.
You got it within weeks too.
I had to have it. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was a couple weeks after we had this. I was like, I gotta go for it, man. This is crazy. I gotta have this one. Yeah.
And it's crazy because I think the BMW when it first came out 2010 or what was it 2009 dominated. They came out 2020 dominated.
Yeah.
And I agree. The Honda came out. I mean, Honda. You can never say Honda dominated. Any year. I don't think so. You know, to where when the Triple R came out, I feel like a lot of people didn't see that. I don't think a lot of people felt like, oh yeah, no, Honda is going to be this. Like I think it was just too new of a bike for everybody to know. And the price tag, you know, is not a Honda type price tag.
Right,
you know, you're in Ducati category, you're in the M category.
More expensive than BMW.
Yeah. So
with carbon wheels. And
yeah, exactly. And so I feel like that's kind of where people don't. I feel like a lot of times people don't realize what caliber of a bike is until now. I feel like you're putting content out. There's more content out there until people start realizing, oh no, Honda is a contender.
Well, I think even now it's still coasting under the radar because there's only so much I can do.
Yeah.
Now with the Beamers, you know, a lot of people gravitate to that.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's huge. The Gixxers, all the other brands, but the Triple R, I don't think is getting the respect that it deserves.
Yeah.
I don't think they've even scratched the surface of how fast that bike really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think it's gonna take a little bit of time to kind of crack that code. So I'm gonna ask you the question that we always get asked, and you know, you've owned Suzuki, BMW, Kawasaki. I've never seen a Yamaha. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Yeah,
right.
I've never seen a Yamaha. I've never seen a Ducati.
You're right about that too.
What's going on here?
Now, I've had my opportunities to get a Ducati.
Yes.
I think, to me, that bike is overhyped, in my opinion. Well, maybe not the bike, maybe the brand.
Yeah, I'm out.
Time to wrap it up.
Am I saying something wrong? I don't want to offend anybody.
No, I feel like you're right. I feel like a lot of people, you know, and I've had conversations, you know, at meets and stuff, you know, like when we would be out in the ducks, you know, I feel like people would be like, they kind of feel like Ducati people are probably like more stuck up, you know, they have that type of like, oh, it's a, you know, like snobby type of thing. And the bikes, I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, like the V4s, they're solid to me, you know, they're badass bikes, but at the same time, it's still an acquired taste.
Yeah.
Because just like the Honda, you said, you know, you got on the Honda and it's a whole different animal.
It blew you away.
The power delivery, the Ducks are almost the same way. I tell a lot of people, like, you know, if you comfortable on a Yamaha, you're comfortable on any bike, and you think you can hop on a Ducati and just ride, the Ducatis, for whatever reason, the torquiness, the way you sit on them, they're just a different feel that you have to get used to, you know, to where you're just not gonna be comfortable on that bike, you know, initially. So I feel like
I don't think I've gotten on a Ducati where I didn't feel heat.
Oh, that too, yeah.
So that was a big turn off for me.
Yep.
So I'm like, for that caliber of a bike, you know, you should still be comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, it shouldn't be all grunt and, you know, again, nothing against them. Every guy that I've met that owns a Ducati have been great, but it's just something that never really turned over for me. And I was expecting the super leg to do that.
Yeah.
And you see, when we met that day, I wanted to be on the H2R.
Yeah, you didn't get off of it.
You know,
I
I'm
never
like-
got to ride it.
I'm like, man, I don't want to ride this. Like, this is $100,000 bike here. Like, you know, and I didn't get that. I didn't get that feeling to be on that bike. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's up with Yamaha? Nothing really got you excited, or you ever ridden an R1 or?
I have, yes.
Okay.
I rode a 2021.
Okay,
No,
talk
it's
to me.
2020 R1.
Okay.
And I've ridden the previous gen with the big bug eyes. Right.
Yeah, that's
08 or
Alex's favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
2009.
Yeah.
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 2009, 2014.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And I think I've ridden the gen before that too. But the Yamahas had always been noise to me. No offense to anybody.
Yeah.
They've never really.
Junior's like, I'm out.
No, that was his OG. With
Really?
The, yeah, with the R1M. Yeah, that was his really OG.
Well, that's a different. You know, that's a different bike itself too, the R1M. So
Well, I feel like since you were in the road racing scene, stuff like that, R1s are nice and all, but big end, you know, they got the mid range, but the big end, I feel like they never had, so
Yeah.
maybe that never gravitated towards you or anything like that.
funny you said that. I just ran one not too long ago, and he walked away from it.
I saw that video. That was
Yeah.
embarrassing.
God.
On the Beamer,
That was
Beamer, right?
disappointing.
Yeah,
I was on the Beamer.
He was on the Beamer, on the M package.
What people don't know though is
Spraying.
No, he wasn't spraying.
Okay.
No, his bike is
Solid.
very well set up,
Yeah.
and he's been trying to get a W versus Zocalo.
Oh, you let him
This
win.
is
All right. No,
Jason's bike we're talking about?
Yeah.
Jason?
I didn't let him win,
Yeah.
but he kept going back and putting in the work, and I never changed anything.
Mm-hmm.
From the first time we raced,
Yeah, you
my
top dog.
bike has always been the same.
Yeah, it was after you.
And he's been making progress. So there's a couple differences too in fuel. You know, I was running pump 93. He was on E. He had the cut tank, swing arm,
That's a big difference.
carbon wheels, and you know we weigh the same. So it's some major differences there too,
Right.
in the setup. But I mean, I'm very impressed with what he did. You know, he came out. He did what he was supposed to do. Go back home. Go back to the drawing board. You come back and chop the head off.
Yeah, there you go.
I actually think that bike is for sale,
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he
This
put
could
it
be
for
your
sale,
chance,
so,
Playboy.
yeah.
You can actually own something fast for once in your life.
Really? What about the Honda, bro?
Now, what
I got 10 bands, let me know.
the difference
Big head right
between
now.
my Zocalo, I ride Zocalo everywhere to every
So
meet.
for you guys that don't know, Zocalo is the 2020 K67
Yeah.
BMW M package.
Yeah, and the definition behind the name, I'm Haitian, so the term Zocalo is it's a form of discipline in Haitian culture, right? Kids get out of line, you thump them on the head with your knuckles. That's called a Zocalo, that thump. So when I initially decided to set up that bike, that was my goal. Everybody that pulled
You gonna
up,
thump
I'm
'em on
thumping
the
them on the
head.
head with Zocalo. So
I got you.
yeah, that's where the name came from. And but I've always kept that bike street friendly, right? Where most road race setups are trailer bikes, or you know, you can only go a short period time or short distance. I mean, like my bike, I can ride it anywhere, even with the single rotor. You know, I can ride it anywhere. I still have all my functions, cruise
Yeah.
control and ABS, everything functional.
Yeah.
Where most road race setup, they don't have that. They gut all that and just one brake, and you got to put it on a trailer, and
Running different fuels,
Different fuels
and,
and-
1
yeah.
gallon of gas and all this other
and I'm
stuff.
still stock wheelbase, and
Yeah.
to even be able to keep up with those bikes, even though it looks like it's crazy fast, but it's not a huge setup.
No,
Now-
it's street rideable. You know,
Yeah.
you still you could take it to where you're meeting. You know, and, yeah.
Yeah, now I've always done that. If I get on it, I'll ride it, and even when we go out of town, I'm not trailering it to the race spot. You know, I'm riding it to wherever we going or whatever the case is. Once we get there, on the trailer, I put it on the trailer from here to where we going to that other city. But once we get there, I'm riding it to the spot.
So let me ask you this: you've owned all these bikes, right? You've had all that. what's the future hold for JacBeQuic? What's are you going to still continue creating, you know, this content that you're doing? Are you still going to, you know, just be out there looking for new projects, new bikes? What's coming up, man?
Well, but before we get into that, I think we missed one.
What we miss?
The Gen 5.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You
Did I
do.
send you that picture?
Yeah. See, I wasn't really with the Gen 5. It's the green one. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit. What and you never really were a Cowie guy until you bought the H2.
Bought the H2.
Yeah. So let's talk about this bike. What pushed you in that direction? And especially if I'm now, correct me if I'm wrong. When you bought this Gen 5, the Gen 6 was already out.
Yeah, it was already out. Yeah.
So what made you go to a Gen 5 versus a Gen 6?
Well, the Gen 5 had left its mark, man. Like, it was always, you know, there to compete with the Beamer.
Always there.
And I've had so many races against that bike to where it wasn't about the competition anymore. I was like, man, this thing is beautiful. It performs. It moves out. Now, it takes a little bit more work, right, to get it to run, but I've always loved the look. I think that was probably the best combination as far as the design that they put together. Even the Gen 6, I didn't like the double lip thing.
Yeah.
Like the front?
Yeah,
fairing?
the front. I didn't like the front fairing.
Oh, yeah, you had like two little...
Yeah. I didn't like that. And then this... For where we are in time right now, you know, I get there trying to make a push in upgrading their technology. I still didn't think they did enough to, you know, to even...
It's ultimately the same bike, bro.
Yeah. And that's what I've noticed too. Like the power delivery is pretty much the same. A lot of actually every single part on there, aside from the front, you can interchange to the
new
Gen 6, yeah. And I've even seen guys do Gen 4 conversions too, all the way up to Gen 6.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cowie's really, I don't know, not doing their homework, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
They were running the same, Speedo for like the longest time.
Yeah.
Same
this
wheels.
One, yeah. Same wheels,
still,
3-spoke.
Yeah.
Like, who's doing 3-spoke still? Come on,
This ain't 1990s.
Give me a little design, a little, you know, style or something. And with this one, the digital dash that they have,
Mm-hmm.
and the straight through RPM. All right, like, come on, y'all could have done a little better.
Yeah,
you know. But I just like the look of the bike, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get this one and kind of chill a little bit.
I feel like it's a mutual admiration. Like that's kind of been your enemy for so long.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You've kind of come to a how you like and respect that bike now.
Yeah. And
it's
as you
there.
can see, I didn't do anything to it.
Yeah.
But slip on and flashed it, and it put down 195.
On pump?
On pump,
Oh,
yeah.
that's good.
The way it sits right now. You had one, right?
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
195 on pump is good.
Yeah. That's with slip on and air filter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going back to the question, what's next, man? What do you got cooking up?
All right, so let's talk about this part, man. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like I said, man, I'm an older guy now. I think when I hit 40, I don't know, something clicked, man. Something kind of turned over with me too, and I've been very chill for the past few months.
Yeah.
You know, you'll see little content here and there. Like I used to be active almost every day. Sometimes I would dump like a bunch of videos all at once just to let things grow, and it worked.
Yeah.
It worked, right? So saying on all platforms. But you know, I'm at the point where I think I've done enough. My passion for the race scene is fading. It's becoming a whole different thing now. I've seen a lot of guys commit a lot and lost a lot too. You know, some pay with their lives, and that kind of hurts too because you meet a lot of great people, and you don't want to hear these stories pop up and see these things come up when you know, in the community. And it hurts. Like I sympathize with a lot of folks too, a lot of families. I know it's not just us being on bikes, having a good time, and that's the end of it. Something happened, that's the end of it. No, there's families on the other end that are impacted by the decisions we make. So, and I've had my fun, man, and I'm not saying that it's completely, over, but I'm trying to find a different pace for it. So if it's gonna be full content, like me talking to the people and being straight forward and everything with just life in general, then that's what it'll be. But as far as the whole race scene being all in, and I'm tired of that, man. I'm kind of done with it.
You just want to have fun.
Yeah. And here's what kind of stamped the whole thing for me. Right, this past meet that I did, there was a meet here in the city. Guys from other cities come through, Dallas and whatever, right? We went out, went out that morning, did some racing. Everything's good. Weather's good. Bike's running good. That was the run that you saw with the R1. So I went out one last time to go do one last run. And as I'm coming up into the race lane or whatever, there's a vehicle on the side of the road, right? Like on the intersection, about to turn left into the race lane. Yeah. And so we wasn't sure if the vehicle was gonna go or if it was gonna stay there. So we was like, all right, let's chill for a minute. Let's see. So we rolling about 40. And then the vehicle finally goes, it turns into the lane and goes to the far right. So like, okay, the left lane is clear, so we could do the run.
Right.
So they flag, boom, we hit it. Pew, pew, we go past. Now we're like miles down the road, right? Race is over. Yeah. I lost, right?
And you lost.
And I lost. Yeah, that's another thing too. And I lost. So that was the same race that I took traction control off. I spun out, and the other bike was already 2-3 bikes ahead of me. And there's no way I'm catch another bike that's maxed out on fuel. So I lose the race, and then I flag him. I'm like, hey, let's run it back. So I turn traction control back on. I'm like, let's run it back and see what happens again. If I lose again, then it's a clean race. I get in the lane to make a left turn. There's like a intersection to make a left turn. Next thing I know, boo!
Oh,
so that car that I was sitting there, that was a cop. That was a cop. Yeah. And so I'm sitting there. He pulls up. He's like, turn the bike off, whatever. I'm all right. I mean, I've never been a runner, so you got me. I know what I was doing was wrong, and I know it is what it is. But he pulls me over. He's like, give me ID and all that good stuff. He wasn't upset, or
like super cop or something
about it. Yeah,
asshole.
But he knew he had some calls that came in, and. I don't use profanity, so.
Did the other guy stop with you?
Nah. Well,
it just got you.
It just me, because I was on the side of the road trying to flag him to come on in, right? So the guy kept rolling, and there was another 10 bikes behind us.
Yeah.
They kept rolling too. so I was, that was kind of another stamp to, okay, maybe this is kind of solidifying me making my exit out of this. But I talked to him, man. Like I was like, look, I came out to do exactly what you see us doing. We came out to race. We try to be safe about it. We had a little conversation, shared stories a little bit. He's like, man, I get it. You want to try to have fun, but don't do it here. Go somewhere else, or you don't have to do this.
Right,
you can still have fun on the bike and stuff. And he kind of let me roll out, man. And
you didn't get no ticket?
Nah.
Shout out.
I don't know what county that was, but shout out to him, man. He was a cool guy about it, man. He said, man, just call your guys up, tell them to clear out, because, we getting calls. And then I was like, all right, cool, I'll do that. He's like, he hops out in his truck, and next thing you hear, pew, pew, pew. I was like, dude.
That's not me, I
So
swear.
he rolled out of it. He was like, man, am I going to have to call air support, dog? I was like, nah, they don't know yet. I haven't talked to them yet. But, yeah, I'm going to get the word out. So, I went back, told everybody, hey, man, we got to clear out. Because we had been running that whole morning. And at that point, it was coming up on lunchtime, like, from 7:30 in the morning.
Oh yeah, it's burnt up, bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You overstayed that welcome, bro. That's what happened.
So, we got all our runs in. Everybody was good and went out for that last run. And I think that had to happen for me to make things clear, like, okay, take a step back now.
Yeah. I think you, from what I see, is you and JDZ have something in common. Yeah, like lining up next to the laws. He did something similar too.
Oh yeah.
But
No, I wasn't trying to, man. It just happened.
Yeah.
He lined up to me, so I had to challenge him, man. Give him a run.
I mean, I feel like you almost gotta do it one more time.
Nah,
that way you don't go.
man,
You can't go out on a loss at the same time.
Hey, man.
So.
Hey,
So let
Some
me
of the
ask you
greats
this.
go out.
Let me ask you this, bro. So you're gonna kind of relax on the bikes a little bit. What are you gonna transfer that energy to that you put into that?
for some time now, it's funny you mentioned Yamaha, and I've been looking at a MT10.
Okay.
Oh damn. Okay.
Yeah.
You'll change.
A naked
Yeah,
bike.
yeah.
And, I think that would probably transition a lot better for vlogging, or something in that realm. But I think the MT10 is in the forefront for me in the naked category.
You've had that bike, haven't you?
MT10, MT09, Super Duke is also a good one. Even
I remember your Super Duke. Yeah,
even believe it or not, the V4 Street Fighter.
yeah, but that's a big bike, man.
It is big, it is big. Or another thing I would say is try a supermoto. Those are very fun. Man.
Saw Ducati released the
Hypermoto, the Hypermotard 690.
Yeah.
Supermoto. But to me, that's not a true. It's still a little heavy.
Is it?
But again, I haven't rode that. The Hypermotard I rode was an 890, so which was still a little heavy, but definitely a fun bike. Naked bikes, I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
Even Aprilia, makes a good naked.
The Tuono?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is still the V4 platform, which is nice. So, yeah, man, it's definitely been I think we've been knowing each other for the last 6-7 years.
Yeah,
it's been definitely a lot of fun hanging out, putting out this. I'm not exaggerating when I say historic content that we did together.
It is for us,
Yeah.
Even if we were the only ones to enjoy it, it was still historic for us.
100%.
And guys, definitely check out this man's channel. Go to his YouTube page, show him some love, subscribe, check out the videos we're going to post in the description below. And man, before we wrap this thing up, Jack, anything you want to touch on or anything you want to say?
Well, again, man, I want to appreciate all of you for having me here. A lot of the push I've had for my platform and my channel was because of you guys. If I didn't have my races with you, if you wasn't such a nice
bad
guy,
influence,
a bad and good influence, I probably wouldn't have what I had in my stable now. So, I appreciate you guys a lot, man. Yeah, and I love what y'all doing too. I really hope this kicks off much faster.
Thank you.
Than what it is, because I tune in, I watch, I laugh with y'all, and I enjoy it. So, thank you all. Yeah,
I appreciate you. I feel like Jack's OG. Whenever
make me feel we say OG.
No, but but you're out there, like you said. You're out there in the meets, you're out there in the people, you're out there representing the city. So I feel like you've done a lot in the motorcycle community, not just for yourself, obviously, but I feel like for a lot of guys, like your content. I feel like it's good content to where you know, you kind of show a little bit of everything,
Yeah.
and people can tune in, kind of live either through you or live, you know, I guess, or learn, you know, from you.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, I always appreciate that. And I feel like you're, you know, a class act. In
I
my
appreciate
opinion, you know,
y'all,
so.
man. I appreciate the kind words, man.
OG.
Well, a lot of people don't know I'm pretty handy in the garage too.
Oh, yeah, no, I see you
I
set
show little
up.
clips here and
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
but I spend a lot of time in the garage, and I think that's another reason why I need to step back a little bit, because I think that was taking a lot of my time from the kids. And they're getting much older. You might have to square up with them a couple times.
Hit him with the Zocalo.
You know, yeah, with the Zocalo. Yeah, hit him with the Zocalo. Yeah, but yeah, man. Yeah, my kids are getting older, and they're at a point where they need that attention a lot more than before. So, you know.
Yeah, definitely a class act, man. We definitely all appreciate everything you did for the city, for us, for YouTube, for the community, for the culture.
Appreciate
you know,
y'all,
yeah, we appreciate that. Everybody give it up for the OG Jac BeQuic. and
Thank you kindly.
And there's definitely a lot we didn't get to this time. We'll
Yeah.
definitely be,
Stories.
there's definitely a lot of stuff we didn't even graze on, but I know we're running long on time. So
Yeah.
we're going to wrap it up, guys. Definitely, you know, check out this man's channel, show him some love, you know, and be on the lookout for the next episode. All right. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.